Yo, yo. Oh, no. Yo, yo. Okay, that works. Okay, sick. Studio. This. Yo, Ashley, how's it going? Whoa, brainstorm video ideas. Whoa, dude, AI. Yo, Evan, how's it going? Yo, very hot. Evan, where are you at, man? It is hot. Wait, I know where you are, but I don't know I don't remember where you are. Is it Oklahoma or something? Mom is good. New York is great. Yo, Laura, how's it going? Nice to see you. Wait up. New York is the best place in the whole world. New York is my favorite place ever. It's like a almost like a no-brainer to me. At 1 second. Okay. Live for Oklahoma, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I'm good, Kev. Very hot. Yeah, dude. This heat, yeah, dude. Yeah. I mean, I don't, to be honest with you, I don't know. Yo, how's it going, Hans? How's it going? Well, so again, I don't know what the deal is with this job, but so again, it's also funny because it's just like, I shouldn't even be talking about it the way I am, even though it's like, I didn't really say anything though. Yo, Reddy, how's it going, man? Yo, Flaming Teddy, man. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Yeah, like, I mean, I feel like I haven't really said anything, although I've said more. Yo, Oscar. Yo, Sabrina. Holy smokes. Yo, Short Kitten. Dude. Star Trek Maniac. I feel like this is clearly a good time. San Diego. Yo. Ho, ho, ho. Yo, yo. Yeah, so what I'm saying is, I shouldn't be even talking about the stuff I've been talking about, even though I haven't really been saying anything. Although I have been talking more than I should, but the thing is, yeah, I don't know where I might have to stick around in New York a little longer than I planned. And if I do that, I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if Mom would come here. I don't know if we would just be apart for a little longer and then I'm just here and then we hit the ground. Yo, Wilson, how's it going, man? My summer vacation just started. Dude, you win. It's 100 here in Salt Lake. Dude, yo, Holy Decay, nice to see you. Yo, Muzza, holy fuck, the whole gang's here, man. Yeah, so the thing is, yeah, I don't know. I might stick around longer and Mom might come here. It seems like nothing is set in stone right now. It's like in this really weird way, which isn't a normal thing for us. It's a normal thing for me, but like, I don't know about my flight back to anywhere yet. And if something it's also funny because it's like I was saying the other day, even just about producing the podcast when I was in LA, which is like totally like a thing, I guess. And again, I really think if I have help, I know I could do it as like a showrunner, and the ideas, it's just like coming up with ideas and like putting things in place. But it's funny if I'm here and and anything that I've been talking about kind of goes down, I will be spread so thin I wouldn't even know what to do with myself. I wouldn't know what to do with myself. But it also is funny too, but none of it feels, I don't know, it doesn't feel overwhelming. It just feels like, it also just feels like some things are kind of like right on time. And like earlier today, I ran into 98 Degrees. That's awesome. Dude, I'm about to hang out with a whole bunch of San Francisco dudes. Yo, how's it going? How's it going? Danica, nice to see you. But on the way to Mount Rushmore, hot here too. Sick. But I love the Christmas decorations up all year round. Yeah. Well, this is also the first time, which is also cool for me, that I've been here during a time that wasn't Christmas. Like those are up, you know, it's normal for when we normally come here, but this time around, you know, I'm here. Also, it's a trip because if Mom is in the art show, which again, it's so funny. I don't know if she's not going to be. I was saying that I mentioned. I don't know if I went into detail about it, but there's an art show kind of based around humor. And I was like, I don't know if mom's art is so humorous, even though it's like I get it. I also kind of get that anything mom does is humorous. So the thing is, I guess the reason why I'm saying it's like a maybe is because I think I'm going to suggest a photo I've taken of mom. And I mean, I guess it could just be submitted as like our work as opposed to my work. But I think it's a photo of mom all like decked out as like Shrek or Who Cares. I think it would be funny. So if that's also the case, I feel like I should be here. We should be here for that, which would be in August, which would also be like a real New York, not meet and greet, but like mom would be at the fucking art. She'd be at the art show, sweating bullets, complaining about the heat, you know, which would be great. Yo, Kevs, what's the Santa in the back? Santa's in my heart all year round. My favorite. He's my guy. So again, the thing is, I was saying that mom, we normally come here for November, December, and by the time we're here, it's like fine that he's up. But then we leave until December, November, or November, December. And then yeah. So, but anyhow, it is a trip. I feel like, I mean, I could be here more. I don't know. Because also it's like the dude who I was talking to, I think he lives, I think he does. He's like, I, at one time in my life, was bi-coastal, which is also so funny to say, like, what, like a fucking LA influencer ass fucking whatever to say. But I wasn't trying to be. I was in LA. Here's a quick one about why I'm here. I was in LA. I was in a relationship. We split. It was rough. And then my friend was like, yo, you travel with bands a bunch. I travel. He was traveling with a few artists, but just really traveling the world heavy and taking photos. And he was just like, we go to New York a bunch. Why don't we split this apartment like it's a timeshare? And it was like rent controlled. So it'd really be like really doable. And then the day before the contracts were supposed to be signed, he dropped out. And he was just like, if you want it, it's yours. But if not, I can't do it. And then I just made a decision and moved my whole life here. Or like I had an apartment in LA and I moved my apartment over there. Or a lot of stuff stayed, but it was like a lot of like the essentials I brought here. And then I was still touring. And I think at that point I was probably touring with Dawes or like Deer Tick or something. Or maybe it was like Middle Brother time. I don't know. But I was touring. So I was like, a lot of times, it'd start around here, it'd start around LA. And then I would end up in New York from LA and then hang out here for a while and then go on tour again and get dropped off over there. And it was great. So it's kind of like 33, 33, 33. And then when I stopped touring, I was in New York. Cause I was like, yo, because I was like, yo, I want to be in New York. Yo, how's it going, Valley Girl? Wait, did you own the unit? No, I don't. I rent. But I rented for 2.5 years while we were in lockdown. Just hemorrhaging money. I mean, again, it's rent controlled. It's fucked. Don't get me wrong. But again, I was also like, I don't want to leave New York. Also, and most of my friends did. But also, it was like if I did, I would like give it to someone else to like sublease because it's just a good place and the location's great and I love it. And I think I like the quality of life. It's like I could do this forever. And again, so it was rough because when I was here, again, so it was like imagine like my life pre New York was tour. So I was like making content for bands or just kind of just like shooting album covers and stuff and making music videos. But then my life post band stuff, I was like, yo, I want to point the camera at someone I find interesting, which was mom. But also she was just like, no, I can't do it. Like, no one cares. Or she was just like, listen, man, I'm working. Like the fuck. It's like, she could never assume that like there's a potential where I could make money like she's making money by doing what she does because and again, I totally understand. Like, I'm not like faulting her, but it's like This work is invisible, like I mentioned before. So I found some people to work with, and then a lot of the people, and there was a few people. I was just telling my friend today because I ran into him, and he was like, "Oh my God, it's so hot. He was just like, where are you going?" And he was going to right around my apartment, and so he just drove me. So then we chit chatted for a while, and I was telling him that some of our mutual friends, some of the people he grew up with, I was like, please, let's do something. Let me like focus on you. And I was even saying this in the meeting the other day. I was telling my friend this. My friend comes from a world where again, there's something that's so important where if you do something where you lose track of time willingly, because you love doing a certain something to the point where you forget to eat, just double down on that thing. Like you've got something there. Like, and even if you suck at it, you have a potential to grow in a way that I could never, if I don't give a fuck about that subject. Even if I had determination, there's a certain something, like there's a certain like calling, or I don't know what the fuck you want to say, whatever. So this dude was talking about clothes. And I also remember telling someone, or they mentioned it to me, and I was like, that's exactly it. But it's like, I don't care what the fuck it is you do, as long as it's like if I could detect the passion, then I could figure it out. I could figure out the story to tell. I could make the thing. If I could just go on and like ask you a million questions and you don't mind giving me a million answers, in the cracks will be where the good shit is, and you wouldn't even know where the cracks are, you know? Follow the flow state. That's really real. It's really, really, really real. And again, it's also like I was telling someone this the other night. I was like, I saw like the fucking sun come up the other night. Where like this is also very New York, but like I was hanging out with this comedian, and we both were like focused on language in a way. And this dude was just kind of like, he was like, I'm not an idiot. And we both were like, we know you're not an idiot. Like, we honestly know you're not an idiot because we're also hanging out with you. But when he was saying that, he was trying to explain himself in a way where it was just like, oh, this is funny. I know why you think to say you're not an idiot, because we know the idiot you're talking about being, but also we see past it. And we obviously know this, but you're saying this to like no avail, but it's also funny to us because it is funny. And so the thing was, we were just talking about like words and like language and what he meant and what he was trying to say. And also why it was so funny, being like, it's like, we're choosing to spend our time with you. Obviously we don't find you to be, what other people might call you. And again, and we know the word that they're using, and it might not even be idiot. It's just like a sentiment or whatever. But we were talking about the fact that we both understood ourselves within him and what it's like we saw this thing. And she was just like, oh yeah, like I can't, like you can't, it's just like you can't like take words from someone else and then use them. And I was like, oh yeah. And again, like obviously her work is that, but I'm like, there's a certain something where I remember I'm like looking at it, like just Plato's Republic, when him talking about like the forums, like it's like if art in the sky is the form of it, it's like the purest version of it. If you identify it within someone else, I think you're also identifying it, whatever it is. And if it's passion, if it's whatever, it's, and so, yeah, I was like, I know exactly what you mean, but it's also, you're seeing you in the thing, and you could explain it however you want to explain it. But it's also the idea that we're even saying anything that makes any sense. If you've gathered anything from that, unreal, that we've met in this lifetime. I also understand these things could be just sounds that transmit nothing, but I digress. I was saying, yeah, if I find anyone who's passionate about anything, well, again, I don't give a fuck about shit I don't give a fuck about, but I give all the fucks about the shit I give a fuck about. So when I find someone else who's doing that and they have a flow state, how's it going, Chrissy? And they're in it, and they also, which is also a really, really, really big deal, and I think some of really my work is if someone's comfortable enough with me to allow me into their flow state. Because again, I won't mess it up. I will observe, but I also will probably show you something about it as well. And I also feel like all the people who I've done stuff with, and which hasn't been many, have all been like, yeah, it's probably better than if you weren't, because it's like also, you know, by this point too, like I was reading, I watched an interview with Fab Five Freddy, and he's one of my heroes. I have a few, and they're all like weirdly in the mix, but they're also might not be known as anything. So if I could talk to a bunch of people here and I'll be like Fab Five Freddy, and they'll be like, well, of course, you fucking idiot. He's a fucking staple. He's a legend. Of course. I could talk to probably most people about Fab Five Freddy and be like, he's my favorite, and be like, who's that? It's like, oh, well, he was a downtown dude who was also, you know, like a Chelsea bro who also like knew Blondie and Basquiat and Warhol and was the host of MTV Raps, MTV Raps, and like did all this shit. But so he was writing this book, and he was saying like he was trying to remember these things 50 years ago, and like those stories turn into who knows what, you know. And I think that obviously we understand that, even though we don't really think it's gonna happen. Like we don't. It's like I think that we're all thinking that we could recall our lives and our memories, but when you try to, it's harder than we think. Or it might not be the same when there's someone else who's recalling something else at the same time in the same room, whatever. And I just say that to say that I think a lot of people now who, when I pointed the camera at them and they thought, why, now there's like document of them in the room. And I'm like, don't even, it's like, it's even better. Like, let's not even use our memory. Here's the thing. And then we could talk about it. And then also when we talk about it, whenever that time comes, it's going to be a different story about it because we're going to be different people talking about this thing. But also, if I am talking to them about the thing at the time, well, now there's A and B, and now you're really cooking with gas. If someone gives a fuck about that person, obviously. And so yeah, it's funny because even like with this potential job or whatever. So I was saying that I was looking at, in this interview, one dude was just like, it's so crazy that some people kind of build a following and then they think that like they're the authority. And I was like, oh my God, this is so fucking funny. 10 years ago, I was telling my friend before I went back to LA, because the only people, I was in New York, the only people who was like down to fucking joke and let me do my thing with them were all in LA. So then I had to go back to LA, and I was kind of going back and forth, but I was in LA more because there was more work in LA. But I was telling my friend, again, he just grew up with like clothes, and then he's a designer, but he just grew up loving clothes, and he lost track of time regarding clothes. And I was like, let me film you. And he's like, why? And I was like, I don't know. But also I think that if you talk about clothes a lot, you'll become the authority of clothes in some world. And he was just like, that's just a weird thing. And I'm like, I know. I do know. Because I was also referring to, have you guys ever seen that show Round Two? Kev, how does it feel doing this without mom? Has it inspired new ideas? And it's funny, Chrissy. It's like, I don't know if you heard, but I had a meeting that could potentially be a big thing. And it's funny because it's like they're looking at me without mom. They're looking at me also maybe with someone else. And it's also something that I don't know if I could say no to it. I mean, I can. And it's also funny too, because I was really thinking about it today. Like, this is, if I do say yes to this, it would be going against what my original plan was, just being like, fuck this, all online, fuck all the shit, you know, unless the bag is there. But I also feel like I could be building a bridge to getting to bigger things. But I also thought to myself, I'm not, it's like before it was like all or nothing. No matter what I do, forever will be with mom. So I know I could incorporate her into opportunities that I get, but you know, it hasn't really inspired ideas. But I was saying, so I think the meeting was on like Tuesday, and I was saying that on Wednesday I went live, and I was saying the way I was talking to them at this meeting, I felt comfortable talking about these things because I've talked about it with you guys so much, and I know that I could like yap for a while and not feel awkward and kind of be like personable and maybe like I was also telling them, I was like, if you just hear me out and like don't like write me off too soon, I'll tell you what you're looking to hear, you know, like I'll tell you something that's interesting, in one way or another, you know, like you'll get some insights. And it went well. And like he called me back and it was a trip because it was all me, you know, and it was one of those things where like there was reference to mom, of course, but it was also like, you know, me mentioning my hard drives. They were like, wait, no way. Wait, how did you do this? How did you do that? And it's also stuff that's not even out in the world. And again, I wasn't even like trying to be like, oh my God, look at me. I got this thing. And I was trying to like blow it up. So there's like hype. I was really like, you know, honesty comes off honestly. Like I was like, you know, I'm not bullshitting. Or if I'm bullshitting you, I am the best bullshitter. Because all this shit just rolled off the tongue. So I say there are ideas, and I am stoked about coming up with some ideas and kind of ranting for a little bit, and then on this channel making YouTube videos talking about specific things, and then filming some friends. Because again, I'm thinking more than anything, I want to do stuff with mom more than anyone. She's my main one, but she only wants to go live. She doesn't want to make videos. So that seems like if I could figure out a way to make our live streams a little better in terms of like whatever memes or who cares. And then she's comfortable in that world. I think she's really at a good place right now. And then I have her collab with people. I'll fill in the gaps of my week with my shit. And I think I'm really excited about that. But again, I'm like, if there is, I mean, also too, if this job kind of happens, I would have to be traveling a bit. And if I do, I might be like, let's bring mom in the mix. Like, I'm just going to be like, whatever. And then, but again, this is also me being like, look, I'm not trying to be funny or iffy or shady in any regard, but I also promise you, like, I don't know, like if mom is on some red carpet shit, she's not going to be, she's only re-adding, you know? But I do, oh my God, of course I miss her. I mean, it's like, again, I could yap forever, but hearing her, dude, she made me cry of laughter the other day. She was talking about, she was talking about some family she hasn't seen forever and their kids. And they grew up and they were just annoying her. And mom also, like, she really just doesn't like liars. And, you know, I was like, kids lie, you know, kids are kids, you know? And so these kids lied a bit and also like just pissed her off. And then we were talking and then someone yelled and then she got scared. And then mom was just like, I can't stand these kids. I'm going to take them out of my prayers. She said, I'm going to take them out of my prayers. And I was like, that's the funniest, like heaviest, like weirdest thing. Like, you're not even punishing them. You're not going to pray for them. And it's like truly like feeding off of that or just responding to that. Or I really also do think that, again, it's like, I think that my strong suit in terms of content at all is the fact that I'm like observant. I'm over here being like, what did you just say? It's like she might have said that in a room full of people that are just like, oh, she's a crazy lady just saying whatever. And I'm just like, run that back. Like, did you hear what the fuck was just said? Dude, someone said, oh my God, someone said the other night, which was so, oh my God. It was like, it was fine. It was fine overall, like not to get too, because it wasn't dark. It wasn't dark, but it was also like, I could not, it was like I heard it and I replayed it over and over and over in my head. But this dude found out, which is also crazy. And again, it's not like airing out someone's dirty laundry. He was totally fine with it. But he's like, dude, I haven't seen him for a while. And he's just like, I just found out I'm adopted. And I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy. Like, how are you? You know, like, are you all right? And he was just like, yeah, it's just crazy that it's just like I have family that I didn't know about. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm all ears, tell me about whatever. And then, and again, like he's also like silly, like me. So he was just like, oh my God, could you believe it? What the fuck, man? Yada, yada. And then he was just like, he just said, dude, this is today's the 18th. He said this on the 16th, maybe June 16th, 2025. He said, dude, it's crazy. And then my mom showed me my biological father's MySpace page. I lost my mind. I blacked out. I fucking blacked out. I was like, I know he's talking, but I can't hear anything. Dude, it also says word for word. And then my mom showed me my biological father's MySpace page. This is now. And I'm like, bro, did you know what you just said? I'm staring him in the eyes. I'm taking out my phone. I just took a note being like, I could never forget this. This is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. And then, he told me the story. And again, he was like joking about a bunch of stuff and this and that. And then there was a moment where like he like had time to, to take a breath. And I brought it up. And I was like, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. And he was just like, oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. I was like, you didn't think about that? Bro, that's like are you kidding? There's no fucking fat on that sentence. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard about, And again, like that's me, like that is so it. Like, it's like, that is the like I was even saying in this meeting, I was like, if you gave me access to someone, but I have to know them, because all the people who I've gained access to, I know them, and it's with love. And I'm also just like, look, you could get final edit. I'm not looking to make anything that's like a novella juicy. I'm just trying to make something that's relatable to some people who really fuck with you. This is only like on the positive, And so, but I was also like, and I know it's scary too, for sure. Unless you don't give a fuck. I was like, naturally, when someone says, put the camera down, something is going to happen that's going to be the interesting thing, that's going to be the thing that you don't know is going to be the thing. And so that's insane to say. Also, I mean, I think that like I really am going to be in business of like, which is also a crazy thing to just, I have all the dongles and everything. Now it's not that hard. I used to be harder, but these QuickTime updates really make it a lot easier. But to transfer like mini DV tapes or like high 8 tapes or VHS tapes into like MP4s, that's crazy. People were talking wild in the 90s. People were talking wild in the 2000s, like things that are not okay to say now. Maybe not weren't okay to say then, but people said some shit, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's hard for just someone to just give out that kind of thing. But it's also like, if you're trying to find footage of something, again, like it's like I'm also saying this too, like, I don't want to work with everyone, but the people I want to work with, I'll be like, cool, give me your tapes. Because also you have to do it in real time. So it's like, if I'm even going to edit anything, I have to see everything. Again, it's crazy. Where again, it's like, I have that with Mom, I have that with Fiona, I have that with the Dawes dudes, I have it with Fuzon Wild, I have it with some people who I really, really love. But I'm also like, I'm sitting on some stuff that I know will come out, but that's also why I'm like, this is so weird that there's such big things on the table, and I'm not thinking anything is going to really come of any of it. But if it does, it also doesn't feel like this, like, oh my God, this is too much for me. And it's all like, oh, it's just like, I'm ready, I'm over here being like, I'm over here being like, dude, there's some ideas where I'm like, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Ken Burns. I'll make something better than you. And it's not better, because that's the stupid way to think about it. But it's like, I'll make something as interesting as the thing, but my resume doesn't suggest I could. And that's a little bit tough. But also I think that I'm like, again, burnt enough to be like, hand me the bag, let me do the thing. About seeing something in someone else. Yeah, that's again, that's what I'm saying too. Like I said it kind of like as simple as I possibly can, but with this world, I'm just trying to remind people of themselves. And again, like I think that I have a good eye for it. But like I said before, which is really tough, especially with artists, is if something comes really natural to people, they tend to overlook it, or they tend to somewhat even disrespect it. But when something comes really hard to them and they really love it, and they could feel and see their progression, they really cherish it. And it's weird because it's like, whatever, metaphorically speaking, like if you're the best like juggler, like you have a gift for juggling, you probably just like, you can't do that. What do you mean? Like, you can't fucking just juggle fucking 5 saws that are on fire? It's fucking nothing, you know? And then let's just say like this person wants to be like a fucking salsa dancer and they have hand-eye coordination, but they have no rhythm. And it's like they work from being a horrible dancer to being a bad dancer. And they're so like, oh my God, look at this 2-step. And it's like, bro, you're okay. You know, do you want to see this person's too? You know? And then I'm just like, yo, look at that. And so the thing is, I'm never like, don't do this and don't do that. But it's also just like, it's like, I'm always like, look, let me make stuff around all of it. And then even maybe the stuff that you don't like will bring attention to the stuff you might like. And again, I'm also like, again, I don't got the Midas touch or anything, but with some of the people, you know, it's also, I feel like it's like, what am I doing? Wow, man, it's nothing too special. I'm pointing a camera at Fiona Apple. She's the greatest thing to ever happen to music, in my opinion, where I'm like, yeah, this isn't really try hard stuff. But when now if I'm talking to someone and they're like, let's try to do this with someone else, I'm like, again, if they got it and they fuck with me, I could get something that'll be of interest to people who fuck with them 100%. I'm digging what you're getting at, that everyone individually is 1,000,000%, dude. 1,000,000%. And it's funny too, because it's like, you know, I had this funny idea. The same thing I was saying about my friend who was trying to say he's not an idiot. And me being like, you know, me talking to my friend being like, well, we see the fact that we're all clowns. Like, we're clowns here. And again, I don't mean that in a rude way at all. But I was thinking about, and I think that this is also a world where this channel, I'll be doing it, but like making a movie about, or like a little documentary or like a video essay, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's all semantics to me, but making something based on, let's just say like I was saying this the other day. If I interviewed 1,000 people about what art is, I feel like naturally we would assume that we would get closer to an answer by asking more people, but I think we'd be getting further away from anything because no one's going to be wrong, and nothing, one might rhyme with another, but they're probably worlds apart. And the thing was, the reason why I brought it up is because someone was just like, oh, they were talking about authenticity. They were like, oh, I went to an authentic Mexican restaurant. And I was just like, again, I know what they mean, because I do know what they mean. But when I do know what they mean, I feel like it means slang. I think it means slang. It's a slang term, which again, I think could be offensive to some people, where I'm like, I'm not saying it's not authentic, but I'm also saying, well, what's authentic? Because by this point in my life, my favorite Mexican food is in San Diego. And if a kid is born with French fries in his burrito, that's fucking authentic, man. You know, it's like, is Caesar salad authentic Italian food? No, that comes from Mexico. Birria ramen is a fucking bastard, dude. Nah, not to me. You know, it's like that shit's authentic to the block 100%. It's authentic to the house. I remember when I first really started thinking about this stuff, I was talking to a chef and I just threw it out there, just bullshitting, you know? Thank you, Chrissy. Thank you very much. You're sweet. But I was saying, like, Kevin wants those to yes, totally. Well, also it's like I think that it's like everyone would win. You know, everyone would win if I'm showing people and them who they are to us. Then it's just going to be like, again, like it's just going to be like more art. You know, and also it's like that they'll see me, I see them. Everyone wins. It's a full win-win. It's a full fucking win-win. And so, but so I was saying, I was talking to someone, and again, I was just ranting like I'm doing right now, and I was like, oh yeah, you know, I was just like, oh, I was like, this motherfucker, like, you know, cuts the vegetables correct, you know, and they were like, oh my God, wow, some fucking dum-dum is talking, and I'm projecting and I'm being silly right now, but they were along the lines of like, oh wow, look at this person who doesn't know how to cook, talking about cutting vegetables, you know, chopping vegetables correctly, and this and that. And then they were really in their, to them, I was having a conversation, they were arguing with me for a minute, talking about like, oh, well, they were probably thinking I was thinking like julienning fucking, I don't know, carrots and shit, whatever. And to their credit, they did stop for a little bit because they were like roasting me. And then I was like just taking it because I was like, I know what this means. And they stopped and they're like, oh, well, so wait, what do you mean? Like, okay, let me ask you a question before I really keep on going. Like, how do you chop vegetables correctly? And I was just like, how your grandma does, bro. You know, it's like, am I wrong? And the thing was, they were defending that idea. And I was just taking it and then was like, that's how I feel, you know? And I'm not saying that like, sure, it's like however you did it, and then you could find a better way to do it. And then you could also just end up at like some like cordon bleu, like, you know, French cuisine. Awesome. But it's also just like when you go to like the person's house and then you have that like ratatouille moment. Like ratatouille is ratatouille because I'm right. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that like I'm right. I'm saying like who the fuck is watching that movie being like, nah, man, like mom's food is the fucking whack. You know, I don't give a fuck what it was that you grew up on. It's like love is a real ingredient, and wherever love is authentic to the person eating it, especially if they grew up with it. You know what I mean? And that kind of thing is like that to me. Again, it's like if someone's like, this person who I was talking to is not from America and they don't really eat Mexican food much. And again, and they were saying authentic Mexican food, and I wasn't trying to be like, what's authentic to you? But I was like, oh my God, awesome. I was like, well, what'd you have? And it was also funny too. And again, this is besides the point, but it's also kind of some of the story. But like they went with someone they were gluten-free and vegan, and I was like, again, like there is that for sure. But I was just like, yeah, what did you have? You know, again, like not again. You think I give a fuck about what someone else eats? You know what I mean? But then we started talking about authenticity, and I was just like, again, like I really don't know what that word means. Because again, everything is like some bastard version of something. And I also do believe to a certain extent that like, okay, pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. Let's just say we understand that and we agree with that, whatever. I think that pizza was just pizza. And then someone is just like, motherfucker, yo, let's put some pepperoni and pineapple on this pizza. And then the OG pizza people were just like, we don't do that shit there. We make authentic stuff. And then it's because of fusion that makes authenticity, I guess. But again, authentic fusion, oxymorons, I guess. But I don't know. I think that this also kind of rhymes with the classic rock conversation. Led Zeppelin wasn't trying to make classic rock. Led Zeppelin was making rock and roll. We've coined the term classic rock, I think, as slang, but also, I don't know, if you're not getting too specific about it, then how is Nirvana not classic rock? If you're going to say it's grunge and then like Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath is rock and roll, I'm with you. But then again, if it's just a matter of like something that's 25 years old or 30 years old is classic rock, I understand that too. Yeah, wait, I'm so sorry. But also that's it too. Chrissy, answering your thing. I know that like if I do this enough, truly, there's a bunch of ideas I have in the back of my mind and like silly ways to explain them. And I'm like, I could do this. You know, it's like I'm like I was telling them the other day, I was like, the hard part is becoming the person who is like, I'm ready to get a camera pointed at me. And anyone could do that. And I also believe that most people, it's even better than if they're not ready and they start. That's the best. That's the best advice I could ever give any artist. Start when you're not ready. Just go. Like just do it. Nailed that slogan, you know? Because again, there's never going to be a right time, and you're never going to be good enough, and there is no such thing as perfect. Fucking go, you know? So it's like, yeah. But one of my parents was adopted, and I don't know shit about their biological family. Do you ever care to go and find them? I don't know. It's weird. It's weird if I, which is also hella funny to me. Like for all I know, I have a fucking family out there, but like if I don't know, if I was found and someone was just like, do you know who Ron Hayes is? I'd be like, yeah, I'd be open to something, but I don't know if I would look. I don't know though. I don't know. Annoying her just, dude, mom's a fun, again, it's like she said, it's also funny again, like she says some things where today we were talking and she was just like, you're the funny one between the two of us. And I'm like, you're fucking ridiculous. Creativity requires confidence. I'll take that. Cause it's also, even with that, it's just like, I love any of that stuff because I'm like, awesome. Like you said that, like I fuck with that. Do I agree with it? Completely. I don't know though, just because, like, so my mom drew a fish and she was going to throw it away. And then I was like, hey man, draw this picture of you. And then she kept on going and I stoked a flame or I stoked an ember or I stoked a nothing or I started a something. But I don't know if she thought that was creativity. But granted, that's 100% correct. I mean, maybe I would say art, but maybe not even. But again, confidence. Confident. Again, I would take like an ounce of confidence over even like a boatload of like talent, especially today, which is also a crazy thing to say. But again, if you have talent with no confidence, you're fucked. If you have confidence with a bit of talent, you could go in this world. I don't know what it is about confidence that we're all so attracted to, but it's fucking real. It is very real. Can't ones those. Yes. Oh my God. The way you think is so dope. I could never smoke or drink around you. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of people in my world that are very like, they either like it or they're like, this dude, you know. Oh my God. I was saying it. I streamed and then I went to my friend's show and I talked to some person I had never met before and he was a marketer. And then our mutual was just like, wait, you don't know Kevin? Like, oh my God, talk to Kevin. And he was just like, he's like, oh my God, you guys are about to go. And then he was just like, oh, cool. Like, yeah, man, what do you do? And I was like, I don't know, like my mom and this and that. And he was like, oh, that lady. And I was like, oh yeah. And then my good friend Runyon just came up behind me. And he just and Runyon, I love Runyon. I love Runyon, like one of the loves of my life. He was behind me and he's just seen me forever. And he just looked over at this dude and he saw that we were talking for the first time and it's just like, blink twice if you need some help. Blink twice if you need, he won't stop. Just blink, just if you need out, I'm here for you. And I'm like, yes. And I like, yeah. I mean, it is like, again, it's also like, I feel like the idiot is also funny too, because that's one of the reasons why my friend and I were talking about the other homie. Because I also think that the reason why we relate is because I think we're all kind of more in line with the idiot than not. You know, just being the like the fool on the hill is the real job if someone's really asking me anything. But it's like also like even that is to suggest I'm smarter than I am or something. It's just a funny thing. Lily is better than SNL. Could you imagine? Lily would be, I mean, I feel like, you know, mom was on Tosh.0 when it was a mock SNL skit. And I remember going to Fiona's house after, or like a week later or something. And she was like, oh, what's new? And I was like, oh, mom did this SNL skit at Tosh. And I don't know if she was really familiar with Tosh. And she was just like, oh my God, mom's on SNL? Oh my God, she killed it, right? She was the best one, you know, in like years. I was like, no. It's like, you think mom would be on SNL? And she's like, wait, you didn't say that? Like there was no like your mom couldn't be on SNL or like, whoa, crazy. It was just like, oh my God. So she slayed. Wait, where do I watch the thing? And I'm like, oh my God, that's so funny. She'd be great. But it's, oh my God, remembering lines, she could never. I mean, I think that mom would probably have like an iconic moment of like her not remembering the lines so bad that she'd probably have every cast member break character because it'd be like, what is this person? It's like they would never believe that someone could be that bad. And then it'd probably be the funniest thing in the world. And it'd be like, truly. Kev, do it. You got this. No bullshit. You're brilliant with your vision, how you understand human nature. You're artistic. Oh my, dude, thank you so much. Really, thank you so much. That means so. It really, really, really means a lot. I mean, again, I mean, I mean, even this, I think that, one of the my hardest battle was to kind of like give my mom confidence in this world. She was really great with being, like so far from aware that it doesn't make a difference. It's just like, it's like ignorance is bliss. But then when she kind of was like somewhat aware, then it's now I'm raising an artist, and I also feel like, like I said, I don't know if I told you this, Chrissy, but I remember, well, the first time I'm really like ripping on mom, the first time I essentially said disclaimer before I said disclaimer when we were streaming, my mom was telling me something. She was just telling me something that I thought was so wrong. I thought it was the most fucking disclaimer ass fucking anything ever. And like I mentioned, well, sorry if you heard this, but I'll make it quick. But I mentioned that if anything, I wanted to adopt a daughter. And I was like, and I just thought to myself while I was like hearing her talk to me, I was just like, this is the last thing. If I was raising a kid, I would say the exact opposite. So whenever I did this, I was telling my adopted daughter, like, don't listen to grandma. She's crazy. She's full nuts. We have a crazy person in the house. It runs in the family. But the thing is, you can get past it. So the thing is, it's like I would say something like, let's just say at the lesson of the day, and I was making a fucking children's book. If confidence is king, and like self-doubt is like the fucking enemy, instead of me like saying it to mom, I would just go like, she would tell me something. I'm just like, you have to be confident. You see, right now she's having doubts. Like we can't have, it's just like, it's fine to have doubts, but also keep them. It's like, but it's also funny too because, I was thinking about it, especially with YouTube. Because I like I was telling them at this interview, I was like, every language is cool. Like if it's like there are people on YouTube who rant like this and then they'll call it a documentary. And I'm not saying no to that, but I'm also saying one thing I was talking about regarding time and language and personality is I remember watching Casey Neistat vlogs back in the day. And I told you this before, I'll tell you it again. I'm not a GoPro guy. I'm a bar guy. I'm an indoor bookstore, record store, city as fuck guy. I drink 40s, and it's unironic, Now, if something's shot on a GoPro, you're an athlete guy, and I mean, it's like disregard gender. It's like if there's a GoPro, there's a surfboard, there's a snowboard, there's a hang glider, there's a whatever. So if it's like safe to say, I'm not really watching GoPro footage, But Casey Neistat really did something really incredible with vlogs when he was vlogging all the time. And the thing that blew my mind was he was making films, and he called them films. And I'm like, there's a 5-year-old to a 10-year-old that watches this. There's a 30-year-old that watches these every day, and they call them films. This will be understood as a film. This is a film. Now the definition of film grows. Again, I understand when someone's just like, that's not a fucking film. Casablanca's a film. I understand what you mean there too. But I'm also not going to disregard some kid who says, when I moved to New York, I dated a girl for years, and I was like, yo, what's your favorite Chinese food? And she said, chicken wings and French fries. I was like, all right. Yeah. It's like when she goes to the Chinese spot, she gets chicken wings and French fries. How is that not Chinese food? Now, granted, is it American Chinese food compared to Chinese food? Sure. Is Chinese food in general just chicken nuggets with some sauce? sure, but also not, but also, do you know what I mean? But I was just like, I'm just taking it. You know, I'm over here now. I'm just not being like, oh, cool. My definition of this thing doesn't make sense. When you say this, I say no. I'm like, when you say this, I say, whoa, cool. Tell me. And I think that that's like my life. It's almost like on some like yes and in terms of like improv or something, you know? And I also think that I feel like I'm happier from it as opposed to, you know, me fighting for someone who doesn't understand what I mean when I say what I say, you know? And I also feel like that same thing too. It's like, that's why I'm here. It's like, I was telling them, I was like, TikTok wasn't in the cards. Streaming wasn't in the cards. I wasn't thinking about streaming in my life, but I'm also not mad about being here. And I also feel like it's like, oh my God, this has given me insight into my life in a way that I'm very, very grateful for. And I'm grateful for you. And this is awesome, you know? And again, I could, you know, yeah, whatever. I'm fucking going on. Wait, I have never had any intentions for looking for my biological. I'm really happy. That's what's up. I'm happy you're happy about it. Not confidence in what the outcome is. Oh, 100%. Oh yeah. But that's also tough too. I mean, I think in Rick Rubin's book, when he was talking about like if art is considered like an offering, like you would never, ever, ever grade your diary entries. You know, you would never grade your journal. And if art is just the offering of your self-expression to the world, why would you grade it? And we have a tendency to do that. I was like, that's like bars with that one for sure. But again, I agree with you. I mean, like, yeah. But it's also, but you know, it's like, you know, I also remember, again, like this, I should be writing some of this stuff down just because like, just to harp on some of these things and just make them videos that kind of like live. But I don't have a guilty pleasure. And because I think that it's in the root of all the things I'm talking about, and the fact that like, I think that yes, you need confidence in order to create, but also it's only because we compare ourselves with others. A guilty pleasure is only a guilty pleasure because someone might find you to be cringe. And again, we know what cool is. Like, we know what cool is, you know, it's like, let's just say like, it's like, I look like, I smell like, you know, moldy fucking, you know, like shag carpet from the 70s when you're an indoor smoker kind of thing. Like, okay, cool. If that's like a thing, I feel like Kool G Rap is a fucking rad rapper. Like the Juice Crew in New York, if you know, is the shit. If you like the Juice Crew, if you like that shit, if you like Wu-Tang, if you like Mobb Deep, if you like the golden age of like 90s ass, it might be tough for you to be like, I love the Spice Girls. But it's not because you don't love the Spice Girls, because whoever you're in a room with that's also like, oh, well, Shook Ones, you know, or like The Infamous is better than fucking Quiet Storms. And then I'm over here being like, have you ever heard that song, Two Becomes One? It fucking bangs. Now, granted, if I own it, because it's not a guilty pleasure, it's Eminem talking shit about himself, and now homie doesn't have anything to say. But also, it's like, if it's not a guilty pleasure, or if someone calls it a guilty pleasure, it also does suggest I'm considering the cool that we've identified in our friend group or whatever. I'm free, man. I'm cringe. But it's also, it's not. It's just like, good is good. It's, you know, it's like, you know, it's like, yeah, it's like you can't like, I don't know, so the Spice Girls, but for some reason you could like Christina or like Mariah Carey, because Mariah Carey did a fucking collab with like Bone Thugs or some shit. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know, again, it's just like, I'm with you. But I also feel like if you have the confidence of throwing out anything, you're really cooking with gas. And again, it's just like, but I think the problem with some of that stuff is we are considering our neighbors. We're considering the Joneses. We're considering the opinions of our peers. And I used to say, I probably will say this here, and I've never been in a situation where like, the greatest compliment anyone's ever given to me is, I wonder what Kevin thinks. That'll be something I harp on for quite a while, because that is the truth. But, if someone were to consider what I think, and I were to try to be like a me putting them up on like any like self-confidence game in this regard, the only lesson that they'll ever have to learn is tell me to go fuck myself. Do you know what I mean? If you think about, if you care about how I feel about a certain something and you're nervous to show me because I might not like it, the goal is for you to be like, you know what? I don't give a fuck about what Kevin thinks. Well, then you're done. Then you're just, then you're out there. And again, I'm not saying me like me, but I'm also saying that like anyone who it's like, even if we have conversations being like, oh, top 5 best fill in the blank, you're putting them on a pedestal that also fucks you, which is tough because you might not even think you're fucking yourself by loving someone's art so much, Kev has a calming energy that makes people comfortable. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Laura. But that's also funny thinking about like me. I feel like I'm like yelling. Or I even said the other day when I went into the thing being like, I feel like I came in like the Tasmanian devil. But wait, I'm so sorry. Wait, quick question. Wait, do you have confidence in front of us? What draws it out once you see, wait, I'm here. I'm lurking. Okay, awesome. Yeah, how's it going, Cello? I'm so sorry. I didn't keep up with any of this stuff. I've been fucking yapping. Well, okay, well, quick question. Well, no, I mean, I could explain how it was exactly. I remember, I mean, it was all special ed stuff. It was all, the kids, not everyone, but every so often, it's just like, I remember like, there was this one dude where I had some idea and then my friend was just like, oh, that's why you're in the special class. And I was just like, huh, like that was like, it was like, I was like, you're ripping on me, but I was like, I think you kind of mean that, but I was also like, I don't know, like I feel strong about this, but again, I didn't say anything. And then I remember like really thinking to myself after a while, like maybe that happened a few times, but it wasn't a lot. But it was just like, and it's funny too, because maybe if it didn't happen a lot, it wouldn't be as effective. It only happened a few times, so maybe it was just like they came at me like shotgun blasts, as opposed to probably like paper cuts. If it was always just like, man, it's just like he just, it's like my homie who always used to say this shit, he'd always be like, he's touched, but he also loves me. He meant it, and he meant it in a positive. But so anyhow, I was just like, oh my God, like, look, this person, it's like, I'm not doing anything besides truly expressing myself. And this person is ripping on me because he doesn't agree with what I'm saying. He wasn't like, oh, I disagree. But I also do totally understand. And no one's at fault because it's just like kids are fucking assholes. But I was just like, oh, interesting. But I was also like, oh, wait a second. I'm bummed because I gave him power. Fuck this motherfucker. You know what I mean? Fuck this piece of shit. And then it was just like, oh, sick. I would say some shit. And again, there was never a time when there wasn't someone that was just like, I don't know, man. Like this, I fuck with this dude, like it's like, I was never like alone. I was never like marooned on a fucking planet that was all my fucking own. I was in the mix for a reason. And so then it was just like, it got to the point where it was just like, oh, if I, again, used it to my benefit, being like, oh my God, like, holy shit, man, you're making the fucking special ed kid make you fucking feel stupid. Well, then it's like, cool, I'll press your buttons. And I'm already like, it's like, what are you going to do? Say the same fucking joke you have on me from before. And I wouldn't stop because it's like, my whole life is coming up with like different perspectives on the same answer. That's all it is. So it's like, yeah. So then after that, but that's also kind of like, this is what I was also, my friend Sammy Shmuel, I remember explaining some of this stuff to him because he asked me kind of these questions while we were on tour. And then someone brought up this thing called the prom king theory. And I was just like, oh, he's like, you should write it. And I was like, what the fuck, But he was just like, I was like, oh, I could explain to you why I was a prom king. And it's all because of this stuff. Just because I was just like, oh, I'm not concerned about how you feel towards me. I'm just trying to be. And then And then that also kind of like, and I've seen it, it rubs off. And I'm not saying, oh, I have something that rubs off on people. I'm saying it rubs off on people when you see it. And also when you see it living in someone, then like the magnet in you is also like, hell yeah. Like, oh my God, fuck yeah. But I also understand it too. It's scary out here. I mean, it's really, it's like, especially when like, you're being vulnerable and shit. It's tough. It's really, 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 really tough. I mean, I think that it's tougher than learning the craft. That's why I'm also saying that, like, yeah, like I think that like confidence and a little bit of talent goes further than talent and no confidence. Even though, again, like I love confident people, but I also love insecure people that are talented. I also love insecure people that aren't talented. It's like, again, I'm over here as being like, I also think that truly too, it is a matter of being in special ed, because I also was around a bunch of people that I might not have been around. And I was like, well, these are my people. So it's like, man, if you're on my team, you're on my team. Fuck anything else. It's just like, it's not one of those like, oh, we're cut from the same cloth. So, or like, oh, because we, like the same shit, we like the same shit. It was just like, I was around a bunch of people that were like different ages and, all these things, but we were also kind of like in this room because like we lacked something. But again, that's also 90s mentality. I feel like today it'd be like, oh, like, yeah, like Kevin can't do this as quick as the rest of the kids, but probably I could do some things quicker than some of the kids. And I feel like they'd probably lean into my strengths as opposed to like trying to like bring my weaknesses up to like ground zero, because it's just not there. But I'm also totally down to just like punt the bad, just lean into the good. Wow, so fucking awesome seeing her pop up in the Baskin Robbins commercial and Tosh. Holy decay. Holy fuck, bro. You saw those? That's awesome, dude. Wait, dude, that's a minute ago. Wait, how did you find us here? Holy fuck. If you're on my account, that's a journey. How did you find us? Wait, at Venice Beach 26. Oh, whoa, that's awesome. Oh, hell yeah. I'll go. I mean, if I'm in town, I'll go for sure. I'll see you there. With disclaimer, please never come into summer. I mean, yeah, Old English. Oh my God. I had Colt 45 the other night. Also, it's crazy. They brought back glass bottles, but I have a Colt 45 glass bottle when they went to plastic, because I just wanted it like on my mantle. Wait, short. I love it when you guys talk to each other here. A random idea. Maybe you can make it special group that we can donate towards. Thank you so much, too. Thank you so much, Chrissy. What do you mean a special group, though? Like my special friends? I'm just joking. My friend, when I was growing up, it went from special ed to like when it was in high school, it was called LI. And then us as a joke, we always used to say, life starts with LI. Wait, I'm going to turn the light on. Hang on. Oof, that looks like shit. I gotta get a light for this place. Dude, life starts with fucking LI. Global warming, man. Sad. Wait, yes, the whole millennials are cringe. Yeah, I'm with that. Wait, I feel like confidence is knowing yourself and creativity is the act of learning about yourself. I'm with that for sure. For sure. I mean, knowing yourself is it. Knowing yourself is it. Or again, it's either all in or the exact opposite. It's like either you know yourself or you're so clueless on everything that you're in the right place to kind of do anything. It's like someone just being like, it's like, bro, a whole jar of pineapple just fell on your pizza and you're eating it. What the fuck is wrong with you? Sick, whatever. And it's just like, I don't know, it's pretty good. Or you're just like, wow, it'd be good, oh yeah, this works. It's like knowing what you like or just being like, whatever. But yeah, no, I mean, I agree with it. But it's also funny too, because it's like, art is funny where like, it's just like, I think that we all have a tendency to be so critical and so harsh on ourselves in real time. But then when you look back, you're always like, I wasn't that bad. Like, why was I so mean to myself? And it's just like something in like the mind or like the heart changes, and then also in turn the art changes. Because it's like, I'm also saying that like when I'm sitting on these hard drives that are like packed to the brim with shit that I found cool then, that I also find cool now, I also feel like I think that some people will like again, like I was saying it as a joke, but I was talking about cooking, and I was just like, by this point today, I think that I'm better than I'm probably more equipped to critique than I ever have been in my life. But I was thinking about it in terms of cooking because I was reading that cool book, the like sugar, the sweet, sour, sugar. No, that's not it. Heat, acid, sweet. You know what it is. Amazing book. But they were talking about searing and roasting, or searing and braising. And I was just like, when I was younger, I could just be, and I made some of my best friends because of it. And it's not like we were talking about our friends or peers. It was really just like, you know, artists who we didn't believe that they were real, you know, like Blink-182 or something like that. But it was just like, I feel like when I was younger, we all were roasting fools, and roasting meaning like we were searing fucking like, you know, meat in a fucking hot ass pan, and it was just all getting burnt. It was all just like, fuck you. Oh, this sucks. You know, like it's not like this critical, like, oh, you know, I think that this work is a little bit, but we did a little bit of that. But most of the time, whenever we talked about anything, we were talking about how bad it fucking blows, you know? It's raining crazy. But today, I probably wouldn't even critique. Because I'm like, oh my God, you're making something, keep it up. Like, keep on trucking. Like, I'm way more so, keep on trucking is the fucking motto around here. But the thing is, I feel like by this point, if I were to critique, it'd be more like braising meats, and the fact that like it would be low and slow. It's like I would make a tough piece of meat tender. I would be very like mindful and like, oh my God, like, you know, oh yeah, this and this, but also don't be so harsh, because in hindsight, this is going to look different, and look where you've come from. And again, it's like, so again, I'm not even critiquing, while I guess kind of, because again, I'm also just kind of seeing the fact that art is in you, and I'm trying to fan that flame by any means. Kind of like the forum, I'm seeing a forum within you, and the forum within me is like, oh, no, let's go. And that's kind of where I am. I'm more maybe a cheerleader than I am anything. I don't really know. Because again, it's also what I'm saying in terms of, let's just say, confidence. It's just like, I think that too. I think nominally, I think a lot of my friends were like, I want to be a director. And if I wanted to be a director growing up, and now I'm a streamer, I might be upset at myself, you know, in some regard. I'm over here being like, call me what you want. I said it before. Oh my God. Dude, to quote Eminem, dude, I am whatever you say I am, because if I wasn't, then why would you say I am? So I'm like, however you look at it, sick, dude. Because it doesn't make a difference to me by this point, because I'm just making shit. And then again, some people fucking get it. And some people, which is also the funniest thing. I mean, I got a homie that's always just like, oh, Kev, the unemployed homie. Just like, I get it. I totally get it. You know, it's just like, you know, but again, I'm speaking to people who really understand where I'm coming from, because you'll let me rant for a long time. The compulsion to create, not for everyone, but for me, is just as exciting as starting the project, and my brain. Yeah, totally. I mean, I also used to say, what about cooking with diesel? No good? I don't even know what that also is. Dude, it is. Could you hear this? It's cooking outside. I'm trying to figure out the conversation topic. Sorry for jumping in with lobster theory. I'm so sorry. I'm not talking about anything. I'm just fucking, you just caught me in the middle of it. But, well, I also think that, like, you know, I mean, I remember talking to my friend Monty, because I was thinking about, the idea of being regular. Because a lot of people I'm around, again, they have healthy diets. Not much anymore, because now I'm just around like people who are like successful at what they do, just because I don't know, like it's just like we've grown up, and I'm like, whoa, it's crazy. Like people are like giving us money and shit. But again, I was just saying that when I was growing up, especially, people were just, they ate well, like their diet's really rich in terms of like consuming art, but they were constipated. They never took shits. And a lot of people who they, read books on or listened to records of, their diets were maybe good, but they're also probably not as good as the people who I'm referring to, but they're shitting on everything. And the shit makes the fucking flowers grow, It's just like making things is always going to be better than like kind of talk about the things. But then sometimes people really do have a really strong, beautiful opinion, or something could inspire people just by their, understanding or their opinions towards something. But I'm also like, when I was talking to her, I was like, the art, it's so funny because it's like when it's an idea, and then when you're making it before it's like out in the world, even, it really is. It's like you got pregnant, and then you're gonna have a kid, and you have a relationship with this thing that's alive. And it's alive like within you, and it also gives you life, no matter what way you cut it, because you want to see it live. And then it's like by the time it's out in the world, it's also kind of like a kid going off to school. Like you got to let it be, it's like you could defend it, sure, and I'm not saying no, but it's like make another kid, and it's like I think that if you live a life of just like, I don't know, it's just like I feel like in this I'm a midwife, I'm over here just being like no, make babies or take shits, regardless, put out. And again, you could put it out and just get it out of your head and just keep it in a corner or something. But I also do think that there's a certain something, like I do believe that there's an inherent art in some art, but I also feel like there is like some of the art is the like when someone finds something that they really identify with, and then it's like, oh my God, it's mine now too, because I'm different, because I saw it. And it might not even be so monumental, like I'm so different that I saw it, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, it's like when I find a song that I want to listen to on repeat forever is really, really something to me. And then again, it's a part of my life. And when I look back and I listen to it, when it just comes on a mix, I'm like, oh my God, I am different. And again, like I bet you there's a lot of music or a lot of stuff that I've come across that I really love that I bet you a lot of people didn't want out in the world. Not that they didn't want it out and someone just like did it, but they were just like, oh, fuck it. And that fuck it is like the real, it's like highly fibrous food for me that's like nutritious, and like I'm getting a lot from it, and I'm also like I need to make because of it. Random idea, make a special group that we have to donate towards your goal. Zoom meeting episodes once in a while to see. Oh my God. Well, Chrissy, thank you again. Thank you so much. Well, I think that, Madonna, how's the pizzas? Tattoo tour, I can give you a few. But Chrissy, again, thank you so much. Really, that really means the world to me, truly. But I think on this channel, I'll do something where because I can't monetize this channel until I have like a certain amount of like, I still have like hoops to kind of jump through. But I think that when I do, I could have a members thing, and then we could do something like that over there. Because I also do know this too, like you guys, I love you guys. But you guys are also like mom's people. I mean, you guys are my people. I'm not saying that you're not. Obviously, you're here and you just I've been yapping forever. But I do know that like mom will be in this world of mine, but if this world were mine, but I do know that when I start really going on about this stuff, it'll be a lot less Lily Hayes content. So I feel like there will be people who kind of do need to hear some of these things. And I do think that like, yeah, maybe a conversation, because it's like, again, it's hard. It really is. It is hard for me to think to myself that you might really want to hear, it's like, again, you saying to donate. And again, you're so sweet. But like, if you do want to hear this stuff and you do have specific somethings, I'm like, yeah, if you want that, I could totally do something like that. But again, I think that like I'll do some member stuff and then I'll have a member stream and it'll be very specific to that kind of thing. And I could just go on about any specific something. And again, I'm also like, I know this too, because I was saying, I went on a bit of a tangent. I know Wilson said something that made me think about it and I went too far off. But I was thinking as kind of like a joke, but it's not a joke, like making a documentary about art, like the term art. Or whatever, really authenticity or even creativity, and realistically, like make it have to do with the edit, because realistically, it would be a documentary about a word. I don't think anyone really has the authority to explain the word, because that's just a kind of a crazy thing. I mean, I love this dude. You should. There's this group called the New School. The New School. Yes. And they had a gallery. Walter Hopps was the curator, and there was a gallery on La Cienega. And it was Walter Hopps was the first person that gave Warhol his first solo show, which is also crazy because all the fucking Campbell soup cans were in LA when the first showing, which is just like a fun fact. But there was this bonus disc, and he, whatever, there was a conversation with him, and he was talking about this poet said this thing, and he's just like, you guys asked me to talk about art, and he's just like, I don't know how to, even though he's a fucking legend, and obviously, he had things to say. But he was just like, I'm just going to quote my poet friend, and he just said, art offers a possibility of falling in love with strangers. And I will just tell you this. I mean, yes, but I don't even know if I agree with that. But also, I'm quoting it still. So there's something, no matter what. And I think that, again, even finding the even just to say there's something is so powerful. Even though, again, of course I agree with that. Like, of course I agree with that. But I wouldn't say that. But so what I was saying was, if I were to have a conversation with 100 people and I were to edit it the way I do, I would just find these moments that would essentially be my ideas of art through an X factor, which would be someone else's words. Just like I was telling my friend about my friend who is not an idiot, but him talking about being an idiot. I'm like, of course I know what he means, because I'm the idiot that was also felt like an idiot at a time, and I'm not an idiot, And so I'm like, but again, I could say this stuff, and I'm not saying it's like a cop out, because I mean, I could write it. I could find words to say. What's that? Also, that old adage of like, if I had more time, this letter would be shorter. I could sit and be like, I'm going to make a thing about a thing, and just really do it. But I'm also like, I would love to have 1,000 conversations with people about this thing that I don't know. And I bet you I would come up with something that would be interesting. And I think interesting, probably in this sense, and a lot of things, in my opinion, is probably better than good or even great. Like if something's interesting, like it could live, something that's good could be just forgotten, which is just a crazy thing. But yeah, so it's like going, because it's also like, that's also what I think a strong suit of mine is. It's like, I like doing stuff and I like making stuff. And again, I could yap, but I'm like, I like when I'm working with someone who also is nuts. I like the people who are like off a bit, and I don't really even know what I mean when I say that, but they have a tendency to say crazy things. And then every so often I'll be like, oh my God, that. And that's like our dynamic. And all the friends that I've really worked with in that regard are, yeah. Wait, what was special ed? Because dyslexia. Or I don't know, or ADHD. I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is, but yeah, I was in normal class for like the like art stuff. And then I was in a small class for like history and stuff. That's why it's like, I don't know my history and shit. Kev, when is I have a gift? How's it going, Vlad? I think it's supposed to be, 25th, 26th for both of us. But again, I might be out a little longer, but it's also like, if I'm out a little longer, she might stay a little longer. I don't know. But the thing is, if something is sent, we could get it. So we could have it before we go. No, not special. But you can make Zoom meetings where free, but it would require a fee because, well, yeah, again, so Chrissy, that would be like a member on here. I think that would be kind of the easiest because there'll also be that kind of thing with mom's account too. But I just feel like I don't want to just have a tab for there to be like, cool, $5 a month or whatever on this account without me giving more than what I'm just giving, you know? But so there will be that. There will be that here. And again, thank you very much. Really, it means a lot. It really, really, really means a lot. Maybe confidence isn't the right word. I think creativity benefits from external yeah, I agree. But again, I'm also like, but yes, again, Wilson, I'm saying too, I know exactly what you mean. And I'm saying yes to that. But I'm also saying like, yeah, maybe if it's not the right word, again, it doesn't matter. I'm also saying that like, again, it's gnarly just thinking that like, you know, you using that word at the time to express a certain something where I'm like, I know exactly what you mean. You could have said anything, you know? But yeah, again, I get it. But again, I'm like, wait, so I take it you're a musician? What do you play? Also, do you write? Wait, but also I could give you a little tattoo tour. This is Atomic Dog from Parliament, from the Atomic Dog video. This is a mom flash. This is one of mom's like pieces. That's Vince Guaraldi, who did all the fucking the Peanut stuff, like Christmas Time is here and shit. This is Life in the Big City, which is fucking burnt as fuck, but it's like a Tim Dillon reference. Oh my god, this is not safe for work. But okay, this is this is a tuk tuk. Oh my god, this is a fucking stick and poke of the ELO fucking the ELO spaceship beaming me up, and that's me with a little 40 in my hand. And also, again, so this one is, and last, that's Donald Duck. But that's Donald Duck on the lawnmower is a reference to George Jones. George Jones was married to Tammy Wynette. George Jones. George Jones was drunk. And everyone took all the keys to all the cars away because he drank all the booze in the house and he needed to get some more. And then he famously got on a lawnmower and drove down the street, or just drove down the highway to get some more booze, which is insane. But also when he was on tour, he'd have these conversations with himself, and it'd be Donald Duck or the old man. So he talks to himself being like, oh, as Donald, and then as the old man. So that's Donald Duck on a lawnmower with like a 6-pack. Because I also love George Jones so much. I also love that too. I mean, it's just like, I remember really falling in love with like country music, and I loved it. It was just like all these like manly men just like crying in their beers about they're heartbroken because they love a girl. I'm like, oh my God, that's so sweet. And it's like funny because it's like, I feel like my approach to it was so like, as like an ally being like, oh my God, that's so cute. Because it's like, I've been there, man. It's like, oh my God, I'll tell you, like the day fucking the day I considered Hank Williams one of my favorite musicians, it wasn't a happy one, I'll tell you that much. It wasn't like me in the best spirits in the world. It's just like, fuck, dude. This motherfucker's dropping bars. This sucks. I would love to not relate to this. Kev, cooking with Diesel is only, to me, I know, I figured after. Again, it's like, you know, a lot of things get lost in translations with me reading things. Thor is mad for real, dude. It cleared up, though. Hopefully the heat's broken, too. Wait, speaking of confidence, I've been pushed into a new band because a guy really liked my stuff. I'm shit scared, but I need to do it. I want to have a band play my music. Not good working. Yo, man. I also think, that's awesome that like I'm gonna read these, but also, that's awesome, dude. I told someone today, I was referring to mom. Listen, man, I I feel this way about a job. I feel this way about someone giving. No one's giving out handouts. No one's giving you favors. If someone's like, "Yo, I like your stuff. I want to play your music," it's because they like your stuff and they want to play your music. Take it. It's like believe them when they say it, you know. And it's real talk, man. It's like, and also again, don't. It's like you're gonna learn about yourself in a way that's gonna be amazing. But it's like, that's a good scared. That's a good scared, man. I'm so stoked for you. I need to get my stuff out there so I can gain confidence to create more and eventually enjoy playing it live for real, dude. Take a chance. Also, 1,000,000%. Like I said, what is life? What is life about for you, Kev? Again, I really said it and I mean it. It'll be on my tune. It's just like I take everything in life as a joke, but I take my jokes really seriously. I don't know. I'm just here. I'm here to take advantage of my time, and I'm leaning into the stuff that I think I'm decent at, and a lot of it is just silly cheerleader, fool on the hill stuff, and I just want to like have beers with my friends and just be like, whoa, man, we've come this far. That's kind of it. And saying, you know, being cool. Not like cool, like, you know, leather jackets and, you know, your arms crossed at a show, but like being nice to people is really rad. Yeah. Taking shits, making the grass grow. But yeah, Muzza, again, I mean, like that stuff, but it's tough because it's like that stuff really, it just comes with time, really comes with a lot of time. But again, like I'm saying, it's like art is kind of like that old saying of like the stock market. It's like the best time to get in is yesterday. And again, but it's also, I'm not the best at doing this, even though I'm fine, but I'm not the best at doing this, but like take moments, take a beat every so often and see how far you've come, you know, like when you do feel like you wrote something that's cool with this band, think about when you were nervous about it. And be like, oh man, yeah, you know. Oh wait, dog. I was watching some of the alternative series of physics the other day, and the experience you've cultivated in the editing is, dude, yo, man, thank you so much. Really, thank you so much, man. Like really, oh my God, thank you. It's so sad to me, like truly sad to me. Architecture as a job, music as a hobby, hell yeah. One sec, wait. Yeah, it was just an idea, something built on. Oh my God, again, Chrissy, thank you so much. I will do it. I will do it. I mean, that is a thing, but it's also like built in. I will totally do it. Yo, fucking Joe. Fuck pineapples. No. But yo, Wilson, you know, again, which is, it really is. It's so sad to me. And I swear, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. If you like that thing, I had you in mind for what it could have been. Like if you like that thing, I would have killed you. If you liked that thing, you would have followed me ever since. You would have gone through the motions of finding out who my mom was, and then my mom doing this thing, and I promise you would have been like, yo, get back to some music stuff, but I had to focus on this. Because the thing is, I'm sitting on so much more, and I know, you know, it's like, oh my God, you know, I don't know if I told you, but again, it also broke my heart. You know what I did this for? Have you ever listened to Mr. Jukebox by Josh Headley? Wait, have you listened to that? Yo, Mama Bear, how's it going? Okay, I got to get to the bottom of this, and because if you've seen it, then I'll tell you some more about it. Oh my God, I could imagine Mom right now. It's talking shit about. I know. Oh my God, totally. She's so mad. So mad. Did you like? Yeah, I did. Yeah, totally. I totally like that. Yeah, dude. That's also just those fucking names were just so good. I got an offer the other day to join a band too. I think I'm going to decline because it was a confidence boost for me. Wait, do you mean was it a confidence boost saying like, "Nah, kick rocks, dudes. I'm doing my own thing." Being in a band is a big dream for me. Going to live band karaoke tonight. Oh my god, that's so awesome. Yo, what's your go-tos? What are your go-tos? Wait up. Oh my god, old head brother. Yes, I'm in Nashville, homie. Dude, I have an alternative theories of physics based on fucking head. I have a full blown 100% just footage of him at Roberts. His everything. I have everything. I was like Headley. Like if he's as good as anything. From I'll take a vacation. Let's take a vacation. Also the Johnny Corndog stuff. I shot a lot of like Deer Tick talking about them and this and that. And the thing was, he was on Third Man and I was like, dude, oh my God. Again, it's also funny because it's like, this really is like, I'm sitting on, I would have been your guy, dude, your guy. And the thing was, and I felt just fucked, and this is also, again, some of the reasons why I feel like I'm so confident to answer Chrissy. Because again, it all stems from when I was little, and when I was little, I really said fuck it, and I turned a corner. But as I got older, again, it was like no one. It's like who the fuck? It's like what the fuck? It's like we're playing music at a fucking bar, and there's artists all around. Like no one's over here being like, "Hey, so what the fuck was your report card like?" Like I was more so around my people. My sister used to hang with him back in the day. He's a real one, yo, for real. Also, yeah, I was really close with the Diarrhea Planet guys, like Ian shit, and also like the No Regrets Coyote dudes. Also like the what was that band? Bird. There was a lot of bands. Also, again, like being, it's like essentially I was like in Dawes, if you knew Dawes. And Dawes does well over there, Also, again, I shot all of the Middle Brother stuff. So a lot of the Delta Series stuff, a lot of Deer Tick stuff. Johnny Corndog was in the mix. I did album covers for Johnny for years. Bird Cloud, yeah, that was also the name of a band that Neil Young and Rick James was in Canada. Did you know that, Joe? But once that, wait, I'll get Diarrhea Planet, yeah, dude. DP for short. That's the funniest, man. Wait, nah, not like that. Sorry, I explained that badly. I already have a singer and just not myself. Yeah, again, I was also totally just joking about that, but that's also, dude, that's awesome. Also, again, dude, I really do think it's like anyone offering anything, again, like they're not doing it for their health. They're doing it because it's like, oh yeah, this person can do the job. That's awesome. Yeah, totally. Isn't that awesome? Also, Bird Cloud, it was Mackenzie. I forgot the other girl's name. But then they had a harmonica holder. They had a harmonica set up under their skirts, and they would play guitar and then play the harmonica under. They were a trip. Nashville was a shit, man. Again, Nashville was like I spent. So I did the stuff with Dawes, and then Headley was making a record, and then he played with like John. He played with some players. Also, who was gnarly. Fucking, I forgot his name. The piano player who ended up being he's you probably know him, but he's Morgan Price's piano player. Gnarly, dude. Gnarly. But wait, Little Brother, the rap crew? Oh no. Middle Brother. Little Brother's amazing though. I love them. If so, you were no. Yeah, again, I wish. Middle Brother. But so okay. So Wilson. So again, like they work fast. We're working with session people. It's like with alternative theories of physics, we had time, but also we shot at East West and we had like a week there, and then we recorded at the Boat, who Flea used to own the Boat. And the thing is, it was free. It wasn't free. It was Flea, but Flea is friends with us, and so he was like, whatever. There was no time constraint, But there was, but it was a lot more at home because like I've mentioned, we were in that world. Also, at the time, Flea was on Q Prime and so was Dawes. So it was all in the family. With Headley, it was like, he was like, I'll do my vocals in a fucking heartbeat. And I'm gonna I'll nail this shit. It's like I'm with the session people and we'll do it. So it was like a week, it was like a week or two or something like that. And so I came out there a little early, and I was like, and I went, and also imagine this too, Alternative Theories of Physics wasn't out yet. So it was just Headley being like, oh fuck it, like Kev, like whatever, like we'll go have some beers. I also don't think Headley was drinking at the time, so imagine I went out there and I had no proof of concept. I just had an idea of making content for you. Again, I knew it was going to be good in the long run because I knew I could get a few of you. And I also knew that this fucking music is good. So I'm like, this is a fucking no-brainer, man. No one's got to think around here, man. Just fucking play and let me pick up the pieces and I'll put them together. And so I shot the thing, but also at the time, I was talking to Dawes' management, and they were like, they didn't see what I was thinking. And again, what I was thinking was, I was like, let me make a video, kind of like a vlog or something. But let's just say if Alternative Theories of Physics, if that was in 10-minute, 12-minute increments every week for a year, for the whole record cycle. And I was like, Chrissy, if I did that on this channel, granted it'd be a trip you being here because I would have just gone straight music as opposed to Little Less Mom, but I was thinking to myself, I would have 52 videos that work for me on my channel. And then I'll be making a lot of music content, and then I will just do this. And I was like, I will give my time and effort and just do this, not for free, but for the money I could make on this channel. And I didn't know what that was. And again, this is also 10 years ago. And again, the only thing that I'm thinking about is like Casey Neistat is like a reference. That's why at the end of the movie, he's referenced. Because I'm like, I just saw those vlogs and I was just like, I'm not going down the street in a fucking, that's not for me. But again, like if I'm talking about, again, like I told you, dude, there's videos, dude, Greg Kohler, who is working with John Bryan, he engineered the fucking record. They've got the fucking rooftop Beatles console that was just in the corner. It scared me to death, dude. I drink 40s, man. I had a fucking monopod and a 40 in my lap, and I'm over here being like, don't look at me too hard. But also, they were like, just chill. And again, but they didn't have to tell me. They were just like, it's just gear. And I'm like, dude, it's not just gear. Then Jim Kellner's coming in talking about the gear. Dude, Jim Kellner being like, oh my God, oh, you got one of those? They fucking suck. And it's like, this is gold. This is fucking gold. To anyone who gives a fuck about this, again, you don't even know. You don't know what I have. And so once that kind of went under, and so I didn't have anything, I was just like, I'm going to do this with Headley, because Headley was putting out, Headley didn't have a record. Headley at the time was just Johnny's side. Let me take it back. Headley's fucking Headley. Headley's a fucking legend. There's no two ways about that. But Headley, that wasn't at Roberts, was Johnny's dude. It's like Johnny and Headley would go on tour and they would do really well in like Australia and stuff, and awesome. But if he was at Roberts, or again, he would try to go to like honky tonks, but not really, because he would just kick it at Roberts. So this was like his like, yo, he's going to put out on Third Man. This is going to be awesome. And I was just like, let me go and let me do it. Let me do this. And he was just like, fuck it. Like, wow, Kev, I don't have to pay for a ticket. I have to pay for a stay, and you're just going to shoot a video on this. Why not, So then I did. But even to the point, even this, like at the time, some of the band, I was like, okay, cool. Let me just be there in the room. And I'm in the room. Like, it's not like I'm behind the console and then like filming, you know, I'm recording vocal takes from Headley directly in the room, because those dudes just didn't give a shit, because they were just making another record. So rad. Then I was like, look, let me get wait, Headley was massive? Bro, what the Joe, you know Headley too? What the fuck? Hell yeah. Oh my God, dude. Oh my God, I'm so okay. So, but again, this is a perfect example. Again, it's like, let's just say like, cool, a 10-year anniversary, I'll put it out and I'll make it fucking real good. And maybe it does have a home. But so the thing was, I filmed the band, and then I was inside. Then I filmed the producers. I couldn't even get to, because it's like I hung out, but the musicians didn't really know me, to the point where some of them wouldn't even, not in a bad way at all, not in a bad way, but I didn't even get interviews with everyone, because they were just like, oh, wait a second, this guy wants to make YouTube videos. Who cares? I'm going to do another session. And I'm like, I really think that it'd be cool. And again, I'm over here being like, give me an hour, man. Give me an hour. You know, it's just like, give me an hour of your time to talk about the fucking this. You just made a record. That's sick. You know, it's just like, but again, especially at the time. And again, this is no shade to anyone. I understand. Again, time is really fucking important, where it's just like, I'm a friend who has no name or resume besides a few photos under their belt, with a whole lot of fucking funny ideas. And maybe at the time, a mom that's silly, that might have a few followers on Instagram. That's my claim. That's it. And again, mom is probably little compared to, I guess, if I'm at someone's spot being like, oh, that's a Dawes dude. Cool. And again, I'm not over here being like, bitch, don't ever disrespect me. Fuck it. No, I'm over here being like, yes. So I get it. Where it's like, or again, also thinking about the time, it's like NPR or Pitchfork, or, you know, Spin, I guess, or whatever. That was what you're looking for. You're looking for them to make a video on you, not me with a fucking YouTube channel that has nothing on it. Yeah, that was the first thing on it. I have nothing. Imagine that. Again, I'm still fucking me. I'm so me. But it's just a straight up, it's me going up being like, hey man, I want to start a YouTube channel. Could I interview you? That was it. And so I didn't even get all the interviews from all the dudes. And then I was just like, but I also did somewhat specify this. I just said, yo, Headley, if I do this thing, just let me do it. Like, just let me do it. You know, like I'm down to do it. You know, I'll put up all the money for it, but just let me do it. You know, like, please. And then truly, dude, it was like, let's just say I was out there 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And then by the end, I interviewed some people, and some people really, and some of the dudes really fucked with me, still do, like, fuck with me hard. But then there was a moment where I was just like, hey man, do you think that, he's just like, well, you know, I ran it by my social media person, or my media person at Third Man. Do you think that it'd be cool if they helped you out? And I was just like, no, I won't. No, I won't. I won't take help. I get it. I really get it. But I'm like, it's like, and it's the truth. It's like, let's just say if I shot a bunch of footage, and I gave it to someone who wants to make a movie, I would say, I want to make content. I don't want to make a movie. I want to make this thing. I don't want it to be, don't make it feel like, you know, because there are moments of the story that's really cool. That's really, really, really cool. And I know that, let's just say if you're making like a documentary, it would be like a moment where, like, you know, the lighting would be harsh, and it'd be like, you know, Like it would be like a moment that'd be like the hook in a trailer for a thing, you know? And I'm like, yes, I'm not going to not put that in, but that's not any more important or any less important than any jokes we tell, any fucking, any bullshit that we're bullshitting, or the music itself. All of it should be it, you know? And I was like, you're going to make it something that it's not. And then on that same breath, for real, and I knew this at the time, and I fucking know it now too. It's like, if I handed over footage, that means I'm the director of photography. And if someone edits it, then they're a director. And I'm like, dude, nah, man, I'm not going to do that. So I'm like, okay. And then on top of that, which was also a bummer to me. I mean, again, I really didn't care, because this is also what I'm saying. I mean, I've started over a lot, truly. That's why I'm also, wait, Kev, I hope you listen back to your lives to see what we all see. You are hearing yourself, Kev. Thank you again. Thank you again. Thank you. Chrissy, thank you very, very, very much. Very, very, very much. But again, what I was saying was, you know, it was like, you know, even thinking about, I was in Nashville for a month and I was telling people I'm working with Hedley doing this thing. And then when nothing came out, I'm sure they were right, being like, oh, this dude wants to make a YouTube video. I'm sure he's not doing anything. They're right. They were right. Don't get me wrong. It still exists and it'll come out. But the thing is, I also did think at the time, and not on some like real bad, like fucking like arrogance, but I do remember this. I told my friend, it was around this time. It was really around this time. And he was really close with the Dazzies. He was really close with Hedley as well. It was around this time. And it was the guy who always used to say, I was touched. And the thing is, again, and I love him so much and I respect him so much, because a lot of people who were around me, who heard me as an artist, who was just like, no, I fuck with this dude. And then when money came around, or like, you know, labels came around, then I was stupid. But I wasn't stupid at the bar. I wasn't silly being like, oh, I think I want to make content more than a fucking movie. Because they could hear something, or maybe even they couldn't hear anything. But if the sale was just transmitting energy, I was contagious. I was fucking radioactive. And so the thing was, I love this dude so much because he always thought I was stupid, and he meant it. He was just like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He's weird. I don't know what you see in him out the gates. And then there was something that happened that I did because I said I was going to do it, and then I did it. And then he was just like, yo, this guy is something. He was just like, I don't know what he's doing. And I don't know what he's doing, but I bet my money on him. And I was just like, that means more to me than anyone telling me I fuck with you, and then when it comes time to press publish, then they don't, or something, you know? And again, it's not any one thing or one this and that. It was just like, anytime us being like, let's make something and there's no edits. Like, let's just even just this, again, it's like, this isn't Hedley. I don't fault Hedley. Hedley never put out a record. Hedley gets signed to Third Man Records, and then I'm over here with nothing to my name besides some fucking footage that's not even edited, saying, no, I don't want anyone touching my stuff. I understand. I mean, it's like, I'm delusional, but I'm not like a lunatic in that regard. I get it. I totally get it. But I'm also like, but what I was saying about the guy who's like, I don't understand this dude, but I'll bet on him. I remember saying at the time, I was like, and it wasn't exactly this, because I was making a few things, because there was a few people at the time I was really working with, Fiona being one of them, which is like, again, like, probably it changed my life, even though a lot of that stuff has really seen the light of day. But what I was saying was, let's just say, again, using Hedley as an example, but it really wasn't him. Again, it was a lot of things. But imagine I was telling my friend, Jerry, I was like, I'm not making this isn't a documentary about Hedley. This is Kevin Hayes' first documentary or whatnot, you know? Alternative Theories of Physics is a me movie. It is a movie about the recording of, you know, the Dawes record with Blake and Greg. But but it was me. I changed in my mind. It was just like, it was like, cool. Like, let me make a movie. about this record, then I was just like, no. That's a movie about my experience in that room. And again, I was thinking about it like I'm the center in terms of creating content. And so, yeah, it's just like, I was like not devastated, but I was like, okay, cool. I'll put out Alternative Theories of Physics. I'm even surprised you even saw that, because I even remember at the time, those dudes put out 2 posts, but again, it was also like, there was like management teams. It wasn't dude, Taylor Griff, they'll do anything for me. They'll do anything for me. That's my family right there. But I also do understand, and that's why I'm saying that's why I feel like I'm so fucking like, this is all love, but I'm angry. I'm burnt. I'm done. Like I'm spent, because again, having to kind of have these conversations, feeling like I was right, and everyone telling me I was wrong. But then once my mom really takes off, I'm a little less stupid. I'm a little less wrong about some of these things. And so it's like, yeah, like that wasn't like pushed. Cause also it's just like, yeah, like how did you find it? I mean, you must be digging for Dawes. I don't even know how high it comes up. I mean, granted, there were some videos that kind of come up high, but it's also like, there's no like hyperlink to any of my stuff. It might say Kevin Hayes, but like, let's be honest, who's really reading the liner notes or who's reading the fucking descriptions in YouTube videos? Granted, there are a lot of people who do, but who are, watching Alternative Theories. It is so fucking cool to see people talk about the songs that they just recorded, watching the dudes, they articulate the feelings. Yeah, I've never seen that. Dude, thank you again. Oh my God, dude. Thank you. Really. Thank you. I don't know. Thank you. I also thought it was cool too. I really thought it was cool. I'm like you. And I also was just like, I want to make something that I want to see. Also, again, like a lot of this stuff too, it's like those dudes are so good and they're so smart, but it's also like when they're around people who are asking them questions that are, let's just say, they're journalists, they answer a certain way. That is them talking to me. Also, I don't even think it's in the movie. Alternative Theories of Physics is the name that Taylor wanted to call As If by Design. That song was supposed to be called Alternative Theories of Physics. And I was just like, that's insane. I'm going to use that as the name of my thing. I was like, it's also just like, yeah. But also, I just hung out with Wiley last week or 2 weeks ago, and he's working on an art show, or he's working on some stuff. And I'm like, I should just fucking just talk to Wiley, or again, even it is funny. And again, like I was so like happy and sad at the same time when, someone like you, who I don't know if you follow me anywhere else or anything, or like, again, like a lot of the stuff that I did for a long time just happened to do was just all based on mom, or probably like Foos Gone Wild. And Foos Gone Wild was the first, maybe kind of only really, that was just like, yo, yes, I'm down, do whatever. And again, that motherfucker, he's the last I heard, he's out there, on the Jumbotron at the last WWE event. And I'm like, fucking, I'll tell you this right now, on everything, I'm not surprised, even in the slightest. But he also used the medium in real time where the people were, and he spoke a language and he created a language, and yes, like none of it's surprising. But it made me so happy, and it also really just like hurt my feelings where people like you on my Instagram account just being like, oh, Dawes is in the recording studio, like are you gonna film? Are we gonna do another one? And I'm like, no, I'm doing stuff with my mom. It's like, again, like, because I also do know this too, like as like, let's just say like a stubborn artist, it is a bit much if I was over here just being like, cool, I want final edit or whatnot, but it's also like, again, I'm like, it's like, it's just a YouTube video, and you're going to try to make it not be a YouTube video, and it's going to be hurting you in the long run. I think Alternative Theories of Physics is a YouTube video, and that's why I think it works as a thing here. Granted, if you like that stuff, I mean, it could work as like a bonus disc on a record or something, you know. But I also feel like if I was really, really, really doing it my way, it would be even more YouTube in the fact that it would be short and dense, and I would leave you wanting more. And I would be giving you so much more than I think that clocks in at, like, I don't even know, like an hour and a half or something, an hour 45. I would have probably made it like 7 hours. But again, I would also be like, I'm talking to Lucius about everything that they're doing. You know, I'm talking to them about, at that time, I'm sure all of them were getting close with Joni Mitchell. I'm sure that would get up, you know, be brought up in conversation, just, you know, and it's also cool too, because it's not nonchalantly. It's like, dude, fucking Joni, man. Like, oh my God, are you kidding? And again, it's also one of those things where, like, I see that in interviews, but I don't see it much. It's like they're being professional. They're answering like, yeah, you know, Joni Mitchell is amazing. I'm working with a legend. And it's like, homie, you know, it's like I think that even if the way I ask things would probably suggest, like, I try to suggest how they answer. So again, like, you know, when Jason Bozell talking about writing Roll Tide, I have that, but I didn't really put that in, you know, like, because again, I was just like, let's get it to the next thing and let's keep it flowing, you know. But it's just like, or oh my God, are you kidding me? How about this as a plain simple, dude? I have footage of Blake talking to me about nothing for about 2 hours. He's just sitting on the couch, noodling on the guitar, talking to me, going into music and out of music, and he's answering a question, and he's like listening to himself playing the guitar, and you could hear him stumble on an idea that he might find interesting. So he stopped listening to me, and then I just let him play, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, wait, what did you say again?" And it's just like, and again, you think I'm stopping that? It's like it's also one of those things where it's just like, I know what I have. Like, I know what I have. And I'm like, that should be out, you know? You know, it's just like, and again, don't get me wrong. If Blake didn't want it out, then I would never put it out. But I'm like, it's like, this is an interesting way to use this. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, I have videos of, like I mentioned, just Bozell, who wrote Roll Tide, and Blake just playing the guitar. You know, fucking, yeah, Jim Kellner talked about the MPC that Griff used, or he also used on Tequila, you know, like, yeah, again. And I was like, I got, man, that should be out, dude. Oh my God. I mean, also it's like, and even just the raw footage of Blake talking about the record, of Taylor talking about the record, of Griffin talking about the record. I have all of it. You know what I mean? Also, oh my God, so hilarious. Me fucking being like, bitch, I didn't know about fucking microphones or fucking whatever. But I'll tell you this, man, I was in the room, you know. It's like, you know, me laughing, being like, oh my God, like, look how far we've come, you know. Third man, dang bro, you really stick to your guns. Cheech and Chong means silly. Dude, hell yeah. Kev, I put all of my new recordings in this Discord. Sorry, pretty cool. Awesome, hell yeah. You have to take that chance. Yeah, well, again, I mean, currently fighting with a housefly, but I'm listening. Awesome. Dude, a Gelber and Son doc would be, oh my God. Dude, also it's funny too, and that's the truth. It's like, I think, again, it's like, Dawes, I love them. I mean, like, just thinking about, especially at the time, Lee, Taylor, Griffin, Wiley. Oh my God, are you kidding me? I love them. And they're all awesome. But I'll also tell you, there is no world that understands how funny Wiley is. Like, that's the closest you'll get to Wiley. Wiley's this the strong silent type in the corner. Nah, Wiley's the fucking lanky goofball who's the funniest person ever. And this is like the closest you get to seeing it. And I'm like, dude, Wiley's got to be in the mix, man. You know, and again, it's like we all know this forever. I mean, we know Wiley is Wiley. But it's also like, dude, how many stories I knew I had to tell that it just didn't even get around to it. Dude, Taylor was Wiley, I don't even think, I don't know, maybe Taylor's the neck of his, no. It was a stock, it was like, you know, an old, you know, Stratocaster neck, and the bodies of his guitars were kind of Gelber-y, but Gelber and Son wasn't there yet. But also, Wiley learned some of the guitar making stuff from fucking Jonathan Wilson. Now, Wiley was making Taylor's guitar pedals too. So he was soldering while everyone is doing stuff, and then also making necks. And Gelber and Sons wasn't a thing yet, but they were already playing stuff that was kind of proto Radicasters. And I was like, everything here, dude. Wiley had this system. I mean, again, he's nuts. Like he's nuts. Like he made Taylor was really bad with his guitar pedals. I want to say this is on a Rig Rundown. But he was really bad with his guitar pedals, like, you know, this going into this and this going into that. And dude, Wiley made this box that's like beautiful, because he's also like he's a craftsman, you know. He also, oh my god, dude, I remember I just recently watched this thing with John Pierre White, because I was like, you know, cooking more at home, and John Pierre White said this, it really fucked me up, but he said someone who works with their hands. Someone who works with their hands they're like workmen. And he said, someone who works with their hands and their head, they're craftsmen. And he said, someone who works with their hands and their head and their heart, they're artists. It's like fucking bars, bro. Bars. I mean, I think he actually said men, so I just say that people, obviously. But bars, dude. And so, again, but I'm also, in meaning it too, I mean, Wiley's a craftsman, you know, I mean, he's a fucking artist, easy, obviously, but he's like, he could make something without even using his heart that would be the most, I mean, he's like Japanese with it, kind of thing. And so he he made this pedal board that every pedal was on this, like, they're on, I don't even know how to do it. You know, like buttons that, you know, buttons that click, whatever, you know, just like on a jacket. He buys those and with no button attached to it, or maybe cut them off. And then he soldered them onto quarters, and he had like a pulley system with all the, with all the back of the pedals with these quarters. And then he'd click them into place, and then he could just move them back and forth. And then, all Taylor would have to do is open the side panel, take out a pedal, put in another one, and it'd all be like 5 of the pedals he needs. And then once he closes it, whenever he closes, again, I don't know how this works because that's not me, but whenever he closed it, the last thing everything would be hooked up. It would just be, he had one master in, one master out, and everything else was like, bro, I don't know, but I do know enough to be like, I saw a few of those like quarter things, and I took them for safekeepings for the fucking, you know, for the museum, where it's like, you know, Taylor's using them and Wiley will make them forever, but he, you know, I know what I was in the presence of, dude. Also, oh my god, dude, this is so fucking funny. Wait a second. Wait, here's what I dug watching it the other day, starting the film with Blake introducing Lee how to play the keys to As If by Design, and then showing the guys react. Oh my god, yeah, dude. Oh my god. Well, also I haven't seen that for a long time, because I was again, I love it, but I was also, again, like, I was very like I put it out and I was just like, oh my god, I want this to be something, and it's not the thing. I mean, I love it, but it's like, it was like, okay, I'm just gonna fucking move on. Just like I was saying to, like, you know, Muzzle, like, always take note of like how far you've come. I was just like, I'm moving on. But I remember when, I remember when Lee put that part down. Oh my god, when he put that part down, I was blown away. But like, yeah, like when I forgot, I think because they did it because it was just Lee and Blake at the end by themselves, like late night one night, and so we all came in and just heard it, and it was just like, oh my god, like you're playing the fucking harp, like what is this? And then when Wiley was just like, did you bring your Depends? Also, Wiley's so funny, and then also, yeah, by the end when it was just like when I paused on him, or no, that was maybe for maybe a Instagram video. But he was like doing the like whatever, you know, like being like silly. Also, oh my god, dude, here's such a good one. Dude, Wiley's dad used to do this, but he does it all the time now too. But he goes, dude, he's a worker. He's a fucking craftsman, dude. I mean, he's a fucking artist. But like he also like his gear is like he's Tim the Toolman Taylor, you know, like he's always in work clothes. So last time I saw him, he rocks like overalls, you know, like, so his like tools are on everything. I mean, he was always like tall and lanky, but he used to come to, he used to wear like collared shirts all the time, and he used to wear pocket protectors, and he just used to have tools with clips on them. And then everywhere he went, he would just be fixing shit. Like, it's like anytime he was in New York and he came over, I would love for him to come over because he was a maintenance man. Anything that was off, he would just fine tune. And then he also used to go to this junkyard. He probably still does. And he used to get all these knobs from back in the day because they used something in the knobs that it was just like radioactive shit. And they don't make them like they used to. So that's why all the Radicashers have all these weird knobs, because Wiley collects knobs. Every time I see him, I'm just like, show him the knobs in your pocket. And he finds all these like old like World War II knobs and stuff. And again, he's also just like every so often, he's just like, ooh, take this one for a ride. You know, like he'll just go like smoke a doobie or something, and he'll be like, yo, I got to go real quick. Check out this knob, play with it. I'll come back in an hour, whatever. And I'm like, he's just that way. And so dude, listen to this. So good, dude. Listen to this. I guess there's some like wax. There's some like, it's like, it's a thing that exists, but like, it's like cardboard and like paper wax or something. And he goes and he normally makes stacks of hundreds with like $2 bills. So he has like, like a checkbook, but like the checkbooks or like checks with the tiny little wax on the top. So just like kind of like smoothly that gets off. He'll go to like the coffee shop or something, or like go to get some sandwiches by him, and he'll have a stack of cash. But the thing is, it's not falling everywhere. It's crispy ass, brand new. He goes to the bank and he gets a stack of cash, and he puts it, whenever he goes out, he just puts it in his little pocket. So when he takes it out, he has a stack of fucking money. That's cash, you know? Sometimes it's hundreds, sometimes it's 20s, but he always has a stack, and they're crispy as fuck. And he goes and, they're like, oh, it's, $10. And he just goes and he's just like, he's peeling off 5 2s and he's handing it to someone, and he's just handing them money. And then they're looking and being like, sir, I don't know if I could accept this. And it's just money. But the thing is, it totally fucks with your head, because it's like, this is not how money is sent, or is spent. And so his dad used to do it, and now he does it all the time. And so it's just like, and he has it, and people think that he's pranking. Everyone thinks it's fake money. And then the funniest thing is, again, and I haven't seen it, but also Wiley's like a master storyteller, where he's just like, he said that his dad said, forever, he's just like, this is going to happen to you without fail. Without fail, this is going to happen to you, and it's going to be the funniest thing in the world. Someone's going to be a cashier, and they're going to get a fucking a $50 bill out of your fucking stack of money. And then they're going to say, I need to talk to my manager. And the manager is going to come, and then the cashier is going to be like, do we accept this? And it's $50. And then the manager is going to go, what are we doing here, dude? Yes, we accept $50. What's going on? And then they are like stuck trying to explain the story, while Wiley is just like, he's like off in the corner or just like enjoying himself or whatever. And it's like, dude, that's his life, man. That's his life. And it's like, again, I know for a fact, Like this is like again, this is what I'm saying. This is my whole point is Wiley telling that story is content. That's not a moment in like a film or something, or like if Third Man is trying to put it out, I don't think they would see the value in it. They would be like, that's just funny. And I'm like, yes. And so oh my God, there was so many moments. I mean, there was like, yeah, us playing like stickball in the fucking parking lot. And then like, again, like Blake always like noodling or yeah, like, it's just, oh my God, Jack Nasty, who was the tour manager at the time, who was just like the homie who just kind of kicks it forever. He wanted to be a stand-up comedian, and we were just like, fuck it, you know? It's like, yo, man, we're here. Give us your tight five, you know? It's like, and I just filmed it, and we just roasted him. You know what I mean? It's just like, it was like, again, this is all I said. And again, like, tell me, yeah, totally. Well, the thing is, like I was saying this too. They are like micro documentaries, but when you see them all, it's longer than a documentary. It's oddly longer than long form, but it's given in short form. But again, this is what I was saying, because I used to say this too. Like I mentioned this at the thing. It's like if someone, you know, I remember talking to some band and they were like, we want to go viral. And I was like, you don't. It's not that you don't want to go viral, but you wouldn't know what to do with it if you did. You should try to grow. Just create community and grow. If you don't know how to talk to some people or make some videos and you have one video that goes hard, you're probably going to be bummed, you know, because you're going to think that that's it, you're done, and you're not. So the thing is, I was saying that, like, you know, if someone makes a video that someone likes, they like a video. If someone makes if someone makes 2 videos that someone likes, they like 2 videos. If someone likes 5 videos that someone makes, they might like them. If someone likes 10 videos from this person, they like the account. They're along for the ride. So I was just saying that, like, look, if I'm putting out 50 videos, but someone likes this music and they want to hang out with us, because they have access to it on YouTube for free. If they watch 3 videos and they like it and they're getting recommended a 4th one, they'll probably watch 50, you know? If it's like, again, if it's just 5 minutes, it's like, oh, fuck it, 10 minutes, but you know, I wonder what Wiley's up to, you know? And again, even if they don't watch all 50, but they watch 30, I bet you that'll help sell a record. Am I wrong? You know what I mean? Or I bet you it'll help support. I mean, even again, like Chrissy earlier just being like, oh my God, like, can we donate? You know, it's just like, that's it too. You know, I mean, it's just like, I wasn't thinking, you know, while it was like hot outside and, you know, me going live, because it's like, I want to go live. I like this, you know, but it's just like someone being like, oh, let me support. I had this in mind in some regard then. And it wasn't just like, you know, it's like, I don't, you know, yeah, you know, it's like, it's just, and again, it's like with, it just, my ideas kind of came to, and it's, again, they weren't mine all. A lot of it was stuff that I got from, again, it was like Casey Neistat at the time. It was just like Gary Vaynerchuk. I would see some of those things and I'd be like, this is weird, but he is saying something. Seth Godin, you know, like Colin Samir, like, it's like, there's a bunch of people who said some things that like got to me, but it's also like, I feel like there are a lot of people who are like, I want to be Mr. Beast, and they try to make Mr. Beast videos. And I was like, oh, I like Casey Neistat and I want to be making Casey Neistat videos, but I am going to be in a studio with my friends and I'm going to edit heavy and I'm going to tell a story and I'm going to show up all the time. And my life is not a fucking GoPro on a fucking a boosted board in the city. My life is in dark studios and maybe dark bars after the fact. And that's the truth of the matter, you know? But again, I'm over here being like, what do you think, that like, we're not out here too? And so yeah, again, it's like, it's a bummer, because really, like, there's some big, heavy, thick boy ass hard drives that, again, I was always like, it'll come around. It'll happen again. But really, truly, I did those two things, and when I came back from Nashville, Fiona was watching. Fiona saw some stuff, and then she was just like, "I'm making fetch the bolt cutters." She's like, "I'm making a record," and she's just like, "Do you have keys to my house? Like my doors are always open." And I was like, "Oh, I'm done. I don't give a fuck." I was like, truly, I was just like, "I'm gonna focus on my mom and my favorite musician." Cool. Like I'm like, because it's like, and before it really was, I was working with my peers. I was doing the advice I would give to someone. Like listen, I think I might have mentioned, but I don't know. But I remember there's this one dude who really wants, they love Dawes, you know, and they loved photography. And I get it. That's awesome, you know? And they were talking to me, they were picking my brain about shit. And I was just like, you know, oh, cool. And they were talking about gear and stuff. And I was like, oh, you know, awesome. You know, I'm here, really. And it got to the point where like he was going back and forth, and he said he wanted a job like mine, and realistically he wanted my job. And he was also like, he had gear that was maybe better than mine, whatever the fuck that means. Again, even that, whatever the fuck that means. I mean, I'm looking at a fucking an old Minolta, a point shoot Minolta, that rest in peace, that Ricky Powell told me to buy. Ricky Powell shot with an old Minolta better than most people can shoot with whatever the fuck money that if they had all the money in the world and all the gear in the world. Is what you do with it. It's a time. It's the world you're pointing at. There's a lot more that goes into any of this stuff than gear. But he brought it up, and I was just like, oh, cool. And the thing was, I wasn't trying to be mean at all. And this is advice I would take, which I do take, that I'd also give. I was just like, hey, you know, like in so many words, I was like, if you can't drink a beer better than me, you can never get this job. You know, it's like this is my family, and I could capture them because they allow me to capture them. If you're thinking about capturing them better than me because your gear is better than me, you're kidding yourself. You know, that's just not the way it goes. You know, it's just like, if you're going to be here talking about pixels and lighting, you know, it's just like, you know, this is also like, you know, this is like, it's like rock and roll as well, you know? And so the thing was, I was selling them. I was just like, look, find a band you like around town and grow with them. I mean, that's what I did. You know, it's just like, Dawes wasn't Dawes when I met Dawes, you know? Dawes was hot on the heels of Simon Dawes. Simon Dawes was a big deal. But it was like their first tour, like people weren't coming out. They were like first to 3 on shit and this and that. But I was like, I said it, I remember saying it, and I was right too. But I was like, they're playing music that is bigger than the rooms they're in. Like the energy they bring to a small venue, it's Taylor singing like he's the boss. Like this is big, and it's bigger than it is now, and I believe it's gonna get bigger. And it did. And again, it wasn't even there like investing in my time in this band. I was like, these are my friends, and I also would love to see America. And I do think that this stuff is going to be cool in 10 years, you know? So I wasn't really thinking much. I was just doing more. And so yeah, I was like, so again, like this is exactly, again, I took the advice that I would give them, just like, yo, man, work with the people around you that you really fuck with. And again, like, it's like, cause even this right now, like I'm not saying that this is entirely the case, but I guarantee you there are some people who, if that person got the job, if that person got my job, then, or whenever I started focusing on mom a bunch and stuff, I bet you there's some people who are like, I like the early stuff, you know? Like, oh my God, that middle brother Griffin is so baby-faced or whatever, you know? And so, but again, that's everything, you know? It's just like, I'm sure there's a lot of people, I'm sure there's a lot of people who, again, I don't know if you like knew me at the time or knew I was doing those things at the time, but I wouldn't be surprised if you saw Alternative Theories of Physics and I was making some stuff and then I'm now making memes with my mom. I bet you'd be like, get back to this, you know? Which again, some people did. And again, that did nothing besides flatter me. You know, I was so like, oh my God, I'm so great. I'm so grateful for you guys. I feel like I always hijack the convo questions. Such a blast hearing these stories. Gotta bounce. Awesome, Wilson. I mean, this is also, it's like you're really asking me Cuddy questions about my life. So I thank you for that as well. But yo, enjoy, man. Have a good day. Wait, it's 6. Oh my God, wait, I gotta pick up clothes at the Fluff and Folds. Wait, how are you guys? Wait, is it super hot? Also, yeah. Kidding. I mean, it is very weird. Because like, I mean, I'll obviously go wherever, always, but yeah, to kid or to anyone who's still here, it is crazy that I swear this channel in particular, I was after Wilson. I really was. And again, I was really like, I took it really serious to heart, but I was like, if I do this well and I go through my Rolodex, I will get to people that I don't know. And then I think it'd be really amazing if I got to make some fly on the wall stuff with people that I thought were cool. And again, like getting to like, like me talking about, what the hell's his name again? I forgot his name already. Pierre White, about, the person who works with their hands and their head and their heart as an artist. There's a certain, the way my head works, like there is a library. Mom is right. And there's a lot of stuff that I have in it of people. And I also do know, and I remember saying this to myself, like for real. Apparently it's going to be 45 in Toronto on Sunday. That's, oh my God, dude, that's crazy. That's insane. Keep it cool, man. But what I was saying was, and again, these are like the genesis of my documentary ideas of, again, I wanted to do one on Fawn. I think I've got a real one on my hands about rock and roll. Trying to explain rock and roll. Oh my God. I remember when I want to do this here, but I think I'll do it. I don't know where it'll be exactly, but thinking about what rock and roll means, because again, this is it. Like I said it earlier for a second, but I was like, it's all the same answer. If the answer is 0, there's a billion ways to get there. There's more than a billion ways to get there. There's an infinite ways to get there. If the answer is 0, it's just like anything times 0. Infinity times 0 is 0. That's an easy one, But there's a zillion ways to get to the answer, Negatives, invisibles, positive, what the fuck? The answer is like be yourself and more art, like love, like it's like the Beatles got it right. They pretty much nailed it, and but a lot of people nail it. And the thing was, I was just like, I'm just going to say it my way. And I also think that my way will be kind of funny, kind of silly. And I'm like, I know I could say it through my mom and that'll be even funnier. But I'm also like, I'm going to say it through all the people. And I also was like, I was saying to myself, especially at the time, I was like, if I point a camera at someone and I edit it and it's on a channel that lives on it's my channel, at the time I'm thinking this, I'm like, it'll be mine, but it's theirs. And not only that, they'll see the power of this. And I also just know that if I had all the homies doing all the things like this, it's a wrap, man. Because again, I'm going out tonight with some friends I love with all of my heart and my soul. And there are a few friends that I'm being honest, I get bummed. I get really sad because they're mad. They hate this. They hate this. They hate all this internet stuff, and they think that it's stupid, and they think that it's evil or whatever, what have you, And they also feel like they know that they could find community, but to put in the work to find community would be taking away from their work. And I'm out here being like, if you can't put in the time to build community to bring attention to your work, what the fuck does your work mean, man? Again, how am I nuts? You know what I mean? Like, how am I fucking crazy with this shit? And so, I mean, I say it, you know, it kind of rolls off the tongue every so often, but I say, it's like, dude, it's like, you know, you got to be an artist to be an artist, but you got to be an artist to bring attention to your artwork. Dude, I love it when, like, it's like when Mackenzie comes in and leaves because she's just like, I'm so sorry, I got to go. I got to make TikToks. You think I'm sorry that she's not kicking it? Don't get me wrong. I want her here. But don't get me wrong. What the fuck? That's it. There it is. See ya. You know, and I'm not saying see you later. I'm saying like, nah, man. Yeah, check in, hang out. But also like, what the, you know, it's like, imagine like, it's like you're doing the thing that I'm fighting my friends on, but I'm not fighting much anymore. I'm just using that energy here. But it's exciting for real. Really believe in your nature and how you stick to your convictions. You're one, two. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'll be inside in the AC, of course. Also got a pool. Oh man, so you're kicking it. So that means that kind of heat. That kind of heat's kind of fun when you can really like cool off. I want to get lost in your rock and roll, dude. Oh my god, imagine that, dude. Yes, talking to that dude. Yes. Like, what the fuck do you think that means, dude? What you give us is selfless. That's so fucking funny too, man. It's funny that you say that. Because I really was. I was talking about this a lot. There's a few things that like I've come across in my studies that are like it's harsh thinking, and it's also like harsh to the point where it's like polarizing to some people, where it's just like I'm not trying to like fight with anyone, but there is a world also where like this is selfish too. You know, it's like, it's a weird thing. Cause it's like, even like, you know, it's funny. Cause like talking to Wilson, it's like, I'm talking about my life, but I'm also like, I'm not like trying to boast about my life. I'm like, oh my God. And I'm not trying to be like, oh my God, fucking, if you like this, you're going to love this. Like I want some like commercial shit. But I'm like, I really do want this stuff to come out because I do want you to see that, because I am like, oh my God, I was there at a time where I really did think that I'm at a cool place, and I want you to see that this thing, not that I want you to know I'm at a cool place. Aaliyah, do you know, I have a few friends that tell me that all the time. Yeah, I mean, there's a certain, in the travels, there's a certain virtue and selfishness that I think ends up being selfless. Like, I think that there is a way where, again, I don't know where it is, but like, if you go further in, you will go further out, you know, where it's just like that thing where it's like, if I've learned on my own that like, oh, you are, yes, don't think of the Joneses, don't try to keep up with the neighbors, don't consider someone else's opinion, and go further in. It's like I'm saying, it's like when I was telling my mom about the difference between being thirsty and hungry. And like, if you're thirsty to go somewhere and get into somewhere and you knock on a door, you're thirsty, it's probably hard to get in. But if you stay hungry with anything you're working on and you're like at the drawing board, every door opens. Right? It's like, you know, it's like, if you just, again, like, it's just like, yeah, John Pierre White. If you're learning a thing and then you're using, you know, it's like you're using your head and you're using your hands and you start using your heart. I mean, what did he have? 3 Michelin stars and 5, you know, whatever. Self-love instead of narcissism. Yeah, sure, I could take that. But again, it's just like, I think that there's a certain something where it's just like, again, like if you're kind of like exploring deep within, it's not necessarily like a self-love, I would call it. Because I think like self-love would be like, not being so harsh on critiquing maybe work that you put out and whatnot. And like not just being harsh on yourself, but I'm saying like the intergalactic self. You know what I mean? You're a human. You naturally love other humans when you love yourself. It's designed to work that way. I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah, totally. But yeah, for sure. But I also think it's funny in some regard because I think it's like that kind of thing is like definitely like agreed. But also kind of like more like mom talk where I'm like, I just feel like, again, like with this channel, artists are harsh on themselves. And again, like self-love turns to like self-doubt quick. You know, there's a thin line between the two. And self-doubt turns into a whole bunch of messy stuff. And again, I think that a lot of that stems from comparison. And in the like non-comparing, but also like going fucking getting heady within, a lot comes out, you know? And so again, this is what I'm doing too. I mean, like I said this earlier this year where I was like talking to someone and they were like, they were like, you want to read The Artist's Way together? And I was like, yeah, cool. And then I did the morning pages and I was like, oh, cool. I think that these are really good. I think it's really good for you. And then I was just like, why don't I do this? This is my morning pages. You know what I mean? And I was just like, yeah, there's tough love too, for sure. But also tough love is a slippery slope for sure. And mom is the best example of that. Again, like I say all the time, a good friend will stab you in the front. I'm with that. And I didn't have an option of soft love or tough love. I only had tough love. Mom's love was never tender. It was always gnarly. And that's another reason too why I think I was like, you know, it's like right now I'm yapping for sure. But like before this, you know, it's like my online avatar is like a geriatric woman. And I fully understand the importance of having someone like that in your life if you don't. Where, you know, again, like there's a certain silliness and tenderness about mom. There's also tough love is some people don't have and some people can't take. But I also kind of realized quickly that like, oh, wait a second. Well, if this isn't someone, if you're going through something and someone is telling you to your face, like whatever tough love that comes out, that could lead to fights and hardships. If a crazy lady on the internet saying it and you might need to hear it and it stumbles across your For You page, well, you could also maybe even laugh about it. So I was just like, yeah. Sometimes you have to pimp slap yourself and stop overthinking. Again, agreed. But that's also kind of like, I feel like that's where I come in. I think in some of this stuff. Again, right now I'm ranting to you guys. But I think that, you know, in time when I'm going to make the videos in particular, like being like self-love versus self-doubt or whatever, like really make a YouTube video. Granted, it's going to be very different than like whatever, but I do have plans for that, you know, just to like kind of like stick to a certain a YouTube format, you know? And again, like so flattered with like, you know, someone like, you know, Chrissy being like, yeah, can we donate? And I'm like, oh my God, man, like this isn't, you know, it's real, you know? It's what I got to do. Yeah, believe in yourself. Yeah, dude. Did you hear that Joey C and Chicken Hawk right before he got into Queens, they covered Hollywood about no, I haven't. Is that did they cover it on like a live show? Or did they put it out? I feel weird when I think to myself, how would it explain this hobby to someone? Well, I like watching this gray-haired 40-year-old man talk about every adventure with his mom who sits on the rock and likes drinking chug. Yeah, fucking. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Amen, brother. Dude, yeah. That is a trip. That's a trip. That's a trip. But I also, again, like I knew it too. It's like thinking about Wilson and me going on about Headley, which is also just so crazy, being like, oh yeah, cool. The only other person I ever did any of this stuff on, from your town. That's insane. But again, I also, I remember saying it, and never in a mean way, but like I remember, when like people like lose their mind, being like, the world is so small, because they tell some insane story, and it's all, the world's small. The world's just a small place. The world's just a small place. It's just like, that's not insane at all. It's like disregard that. Of course, he lives in the same city. The only person who in this chat gives a shit about and I'm not saying you guys don't, but I'm saying like truly gives a shit about my time in like new old country. But it's also funny too, because like, yeah, thinking about mom as well, I was thinking about Finding Aaliyah as well, which is a trip. Both play. No, I haven't heard that. I've never looked if they put it out, watched, the Troubadour. Oh, sick. Essentially boiled down what it is. Well, I think that's also like, I don't know what it is, but like the brain chemistry is very, mine in particular is always just like, what's the lowest common denominator here? It's just like, what are we talking about? And that's why I feel like I tend to just have my head up there and I just keep on going. But then there's always like, I feel like I stumble on something and I'm like, oh, you mean, like, and that's, yeah. And that's also why I'm like, oh, I should really fuck with YouTube. And then also get this back, because again, I was saying I really wanted to make videos with mom, but she just wants to go live. So I was just like, okay, well, I'll deck out her lives and I'll hit YouTube with all I got. But Ali, again, it's real. I mean it, Yo, Bird. Well, again, like this is my life with Bird. Bird's the best at this. But Bird's so good at this. Bird's so good at this. Bird's so good at everything I just said. He just doesn't talk. It's like when you're it's like you're around like His Holiness or any whatever, you feel the presence. And I mean, it's not even, it's like, I would say this if he's not, but I mean, it's like, all the flowers to you forever, but it's true. It's like, he knows, to quote Bird, the meaning of life is give life meaning. He knows it for sure. And it's also like, again, even with Bird, it's just like, I saw it the second. And I always find it funny too. And it's like, like we've mentioned it, where it's just like, if Bert and I are having conversations with people who are like, you guys are, what the fuck are you saying? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Aaliyah said, go to bed. It's like if me and Bert are sitting around just going, and then there's go to beds, I get it too. Totally. Oh my God. But it's also like, understanding the power of documenting and just preserving and being and yeah. Thank you, dude. I love you, dude. It's also funny, I was my friend passed away. It was a while ago, but it was his birthday recently. And one thing I said about it was like, we were like just celebrating his life. And I was just like, I think that some people really have a hard time with kind of like people, crossing over, because sometimes people don't know what they mean to you or you meant to them or whatever. This dude knew, and I feel that way about you, Bert. I feel like you know that there's no, it's like, there's no, if you, I can't even, I've been yelling for an hour, 2 hours and 40 minutes. And I can't find a word, for you. But it's like, I think it's, that. And I'm like comforted at the fact that that I think that you're the tippy top of everything. Wait, would you book Comedy Store and mix YouTube while on stage with your bro? Are you crazy? You think I'm out here? Thank you, short kid. Wait up, thug tears, right? Yeah, for real. But also, oh my god, just tears. Fuck it, just soft ass tears, just like fucking soft hand art tears, everything, you know. I mean, I don't know about all that, dude. Bert did a comedy. That was the best, man. That was the best, dude. That was the best. But I don't know. You know, I also do think this too. You know, like I'm like I'm not saying no to anything. You know, so it's like that. I mean, but that's awesome. I don't think we could really do that. But also, like, I would be down to whatever. You know, like if an opportunity comes, because also I would really, you know, one thing I'd really love, really love, I would love to like have the conversation about like online funny to like stand up funny, just to have the conversation, not to be on any side or anything. But it's just funny where, again, I think that this is kind of the conversation about authentic food, you know, authentic pizza to like fusion pizza or like authentic Mexican food. And by this point in Los Angeles, authentic Mexican food looks kind of really interesting. And authentic LA Mexican food is an oxymoron to some people, and it's not to others. Where I'm also saying that like authentic stand-up is gonna say what that's gonna mean something, and I know what it means at the moment. But I'm also just like, okay, cool. Like some people are growing up in a world where, I don't know, it's gonna look different. You know, it's just like people get so nostalgic towards their own moment on Earth that they're just like, it can't change. And I'm like, dude. Shit's changing, man. Mom's good. She's good now. Yeah. Can I have a word if you find one? Drunk Kev tears. Always. Drunk Kev tears. That's like also like that's always me. Dude, before I left, I told you I went to to that barbecue before I went live. And my friend split with his ex now. And when I was leaving, I hugged him, and I just wouldn't, like, I was just like, just know how much you mean to me. And he was like, he won't leave, you know? And it was that, you know, like that is the kind of drunk I am. That would be cool. The first to think, almost like Kill Tony vibes. I mean, again, I'd be down. I would see something through, but again, I don't know what that would look like. Also, you know, I mean, if we did something like that, I'd bring a bunch of like friends, and I think I'd be like, I would like, you know, like even like with Chrissy talked about donations and stuff. I feel funny where I'm like, if I charge someone for something, I don't want to not deliver. So I'm very like, okay, if we were to do something like that, I'd be like, I'll get some stand-ups too, and you'll have laughed. I feel like that's something you could pull off, but it would end up being on accident. I think that's a lot of my life, to be honest with you. No, not at all. No way. I mean, like, I'm fresh off a nap in a shower. It was cold. It was raining outside. They're just joking because I'm so just like, I love you, Bert. But I also probably have done that to you at Jones fucking countless times. Wait, a word you would use to describe me. I mean, I don't even know. A word to describe you. I don't know. I mean, I'm not good at like just getting to like one thing, you know? I'm also just like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not like I feel like, I don't know, whatever I was just doing with Bert, I was just like, oh my God, I just haven't talked to him for a while. And I'm just like, oh my God, like I'm your biggest fan. And so just like, you know, it's also, I also feel like there is a big something about giving just giving flowers, man. Like not like wall, you could still sell them, because like even that has like a heavy connotation where it's just like, just give flowers, man. Like, oh my God, Bert gave me so much of myself. So I just saying it because he's here. How's it going, Maria? Okay, wait a second. It's actually, wait a second. I don't know. Wait, my clothes is out of Fluff and Folds. And if I don't get it, I don't have pants. So I think I gotta hit the road. Also, 2 hours and 45 minutes. Bird. What I miss? How's everyone? I fucking yap today. I yap today. Hey, how's it going, Mama Bear? It was just a whole bunch of like. It's also funny, you know, about Bert. All the stuff that I was talking about, and all the hardships about all the stuff that I was talking about. He was just. I was fighting every day with people to just kind of like see what I was saying, and this fool, like, he was so with all the love of the world, but he hit me with the like, duh, and I'm just like, what? Like, wait a second, we're not gonna fight about the importance of like documenting and like putting things out and whatever, and he's just like, no, that's the work, and I'm like, wait, again, like literally looking around being like, like, you're full of shit, like, stop lying to me, like, what are you doing? It's like, you're mocking me now. And it was like that fucked me up, it really did. It fucked me up. And then being like, oh my God, I'm like talking to someone in this space is crazy. Cause again, it's just like, when you're able to find someone who you're able to be yourself in front of and with, and that helps you give yourself to you. Nuts. So it's also that's too. This is all I'm trying to do right now is have conversations with Bert, with you. I was lying. Also, yeah, dude. Kev was on one. I was, right? Oh my God. But this was good. We could live the soft life with Bert. I mean, it's wait up. I was running around like some headless chicken. The kids, how are the kids doing? Wait, what do you mean you don't want to argue? Yeah, that's also it too. I feel like, I remember also, yeah, like me and Bert were having a conversation with a friend, and we were just saying this, and it was like, we're having these conversations with people, especially at the time, that were like kind of like, yeah, like fighting. It's also, it's like fighting. It's fighting like the current. It's like, that's bananas, dude. You're fighting motion. You're again. It's like, yeah, we're on the lazy river. Oh man, that's a bummer. I didn't know that. Okay. I gotta go. I gotta go pick up my laundry. They're good having pajama day today. Whoa, pajama day. Sick. Never even heard that term. But okay, yo, guys. I only believe in large abstract paintings by white people that only white people can buy. That's also, Bert is like truly that too. It's like all the things that we were ever talking about, he always got, and then he was always silly funny. And it was just like, oh, no way, dude. No way. No way, you, man. No way. But yes way. Yes way. It's like having to defend your perspective just to hold a comment. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just trying to defend your perspective. Totally. And it's like, it's also just so crazy when it's like, when you let go of like certain definitions you have in your own head, you allow yours to like grow and also probably get more defined by allowing people's ideas in. And then it's like, imagine like letting someone else's ideas in, and they feel heard and felt and seen, and then we're all winning. And it's also like, yeah, like if you're also just down to be like wrong in whatever regard. I mean, granted, we normally have conversations about our opinions, so like there's no real point of right and wrong, but it's like, yeah, you're like, that's the way. I don't know about how I was cracked up. Yeah, that's it. I mean, yeah, Aaliyah. That's what Bert and I were doing. That's all we were doing. Wait, love you so much, Kev. Enjoy your night. Stay hydrated. Thank you very much. Go get your pants, bro. Go to bed. Yeah. Dude, yes. Yo, guys, I love you. I'm gonna get my pants. I will. I'll see you tomorrow for sure. Love you guys. Have a good rest of your day, everyone. See ya.